Magic, starring Donald Von Griffin, now in low resolution. Karen Torres, now in high resolution and superior audio fidelity. Leslie, whose resolution remains unchanged. Bud Montgomery.
Not a computer geek.
And me, the GM, Brandon Blackmore. This week's game brought to you by Sailor Jerry. Hey, Jerry, how you doing there, boy? Spiced rum. Brought to you by some brewery somewhere. They're actually made by some brewery that makes something else that's better known, I think, but I can never remember what it is. So, there we go. Are we recording? We are recording. Yay. Last week, I'll give a brief recap and then you guys can fill in things that I've forgotten about. Snow is thick on the ground in Cameray-sur-Mer, and the streets are awash with grey slush. Bernadette Blanchard makes a surprise visit to the Café Azur Americain and asks pointed questions of Johnny Diamond and Dr. Celyddon. She seems satisfied with their answers. She then hires them to find an object which her men stole from the Directorate General of Armaments, and which was then stolen from her men. A death ray. The gang heads to the coroner's office during the guard's lunch break, and a generous bribe to the coroner on duty gets them a look at the bodies found at the ill-fated exchange of the death ray. There are 2 bodies, approximately 300 kilos each, with numerous heads and limbs. Later, Dr. Celyddon goes alone to the location of the exchange. He doesn't find much in the snow-covered alley other than dozens of footprints and some tire tracks, but he does find a stone with a human finger merged with it. He is shot by a man he does not recognize, but the man flees and escapes. Later, even later, Johnny Diamond is shot and seriously wounded, I left out a word, while approaching his club, but he manages to get behind cover. He crawls through the snow and into the club for shelter. He calls Leslie, who comes to Johnny Diamond's aid and tends his wounds. They look outside for the would-be assassin, but the assassin has already gone. I miss anything important?
Nope, that was about it, I think.
Cool beans. Seriously wounded. But the assassin was already gone. So, where do we leave off exactly? Do you remember?
With Johnny Diamond and Leslie.
Great.
Yeah.
It is...
Trying to figure out how we can find this assassin and do something nasty to him.
Well, it's dark 30 in the morning, and so late that the club is actually closed and everybody's gone home. That's right, because people were leaving to go home when Johnny Diamond got there. So, yeah, it's like 4. Something
and they
like
ran away and left him
face down in the snow.
Oh, that's right. They were there. They fled from the gunshots, which I hope you don't think worse of them for that, because that's a normal thing to do.
Yeah.
They are not superheroes or firemen. So there you are, in the dark. Or I mean, you can turn lights on, but it's nighttime.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Johnny Diamond and Leslie?
I assume healing.
I think I was going, if I had something that I could use, I was going to scry on the bullet to see if we can find the gun.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, let me take a look at how that works. Your action value is your reason plus your power, and you make a thaumaturgy roll with that. Let's see, and it's complicated by the distance. You're not looking in the future or the past, so don't need to worry about that. It's not a specific person, and you do have something that will help you find it. So, do you have expertise with thaumaturgy? I don't think you do.
No, I just thought it's just 2 dice.
Okay, and the distance.
Plus my reason, you said plus my reason, my power, huh?
Reason plus power. And I gotta see what the, I had a thing here. Distance, that's right. Okay. So, How far away are they by now? Okay. So, I roll against you. Six.
My total's 14.
Okay.
Not a great roll.
You think they're further away than you can reliably detect.
Booger. Do I have a good general direction, though?
Oh. Sure, roll again.
Okay.
That'd
Same
be easier.
additions?
Same thing.
This time I was 15.
Ah! Yes! You have a general direction.
Well, that's a start.
That way.
Okay.
That's something.
Yeah, that's a start. Okay, we can at least find out what in Sur-la-Mer is that way.
Most of the city. But
I was afraid
it's
of
a
that.
start.
It's a start. Yeah.
Where did I... Oh, there it is. Why are you not moving? There we go. Okay. So, there you go. Johnny Diamond basically just hangs out and heals while Leslie does some fairy magic and doesn't seem too happy with the result.
Nope, not happy at all. All I can tell you is he went that away. Which is most of the bloody city. Next time we need to get something that belongs to him.
Yes, rather than a bullet with my name on it.
Yeah.
Oh! Shoot.
Do you think we ought to let the others know? Especially in lieu of Doc Celyddon getting shot at?
Yes, I'm afraid this might become a habit.
Yeah.
I guess I should start making
Phone calls, yeah. It's your phone.
phone calls, yeah.
Mine's at my apartment. Back that away.
Okay, so I
You what? Get on with it.
yeah, I call up Doc Celyddon.
Ring! Doc Celyddon's
In the
phone
middle of
rings.
the night.
This had better be
Well, 2
extremely,
o'clock in the morning.
like world-shakingly important.
You had better be on fire. Okay. Phone rings.
So,
Answer.
to what do I owe the honor?
Thought you might like to know there's a sniper out there in the city.
Oh, really? Not just some random twerp shooting at me.
No, hit me square in the back. Lucky to survive.
That seems so unsportsmanlike.
You said it.
All right.
Sorry if I'm not my usual witty self. I'm feeling a bit under the weather after that.
A little.
I can be over there in a couple of minutes. We can probably get you healed back up. Try not to bleed to death or anything like that.
Oh, Leslie's here and has helped me out, but just be careful when you go out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me do some checking around and see what I can see. I'm curious to see if anybody's actually surveilling me. But I'll give you. Are you planning on staying by that phone? I'll give you a call.
Johnny, ask him if he has a little bit better one up on the scrying. Tell him I have a bullet.
Yeah. Oh, Leslie says she has a bullet from the
Yeah,
gun.
remember, so he.
Or, Yeah, Leslie says that he has a bullet from the gun. If that might help you make a connection.
We can certainly track the rifle it came from, anyway.
You're a little better at it than I am.
Let me get myself together. I'll be over there as quickly as I can.
Thank you.
Okay. By the time Celyddon gets there, Johnny Diamond's all healed up. Do you do anything on the way?
I was going to do a quick check to make sure that there was nobody watching my place before I left.
Is there somebody watching your place? Is there somebody watching your place? I don't know. Let's see.
You may want to get
Well, that's why I was asking.
There is someone watching your place. Standing in a arched doorway across the street and like 2 down in the shadow of a streetlight.
Meanwhile, Johnny, you may want to get Carole here too.
Okay. Scry and see if it's anybody I recognize.
It
Or
is
if it's
not
like
somebody you
a
recognize.
officer.
Doesn't look like a police officer, and it is not somebody you recognize.
Okay.
Somebody in like a big heavy winter coat with a big wool hat and suspicious bulge under one arm. Shivering a little.
Oh, I just love a challenge. I'm going to try and turn him into a badger.
Okay.
Badger, mushroom.
Let's see.
Badger,
What kind of range? What's normal? Wait, where did I put my magic stuff? Distance. 10 meters away, across the street. Oh, yeah, he's within 10 meters away. All right.
Okay.
You're going to make it last longer than your attention span, or just until you do something else?
No, just until I do something else.
Great. Let's see.
My intention is to scare the crap out of him, not to actually permanently turn him into a badger. However, I do want to make sure that when I turn him into a badger, I don't turn his clothing or anything he's wearing or carrying into a badger.
Okay.
Then be a badger in a very large, ill-fitting suit.
Scope. Oh, I did something to this. Oh no, a person is normal. All right. I have a chart for transmuting things. If you did something bigger than a person, then it could get more difficult, like a house or a car or a city.
I'll have him stay that way long enough to get you out of the house.
So
I
you have no penalty dice, and let me see what the difficulty of this is. I think it's just 6. Oh, it's their presence plus power. So I roll some dice, you roll some dice, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay. So I'm doing, let's see, reason plus power.
Oh, let me double check that for you. Presence plus power.
Okay.
Why is it presence?
Maybe it's because he's a human mage and I'm a fairy mage. I don't know.
My power chart still lists it as reason. But it's
that should be reason plus power, not presence.
Okay.
Presence is for stuff where you're like affecting people's minds and things like that. Transmutation is just stuff. So
right. Grand total 20.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay. Well, you got 12 more than you needed.
Is that all?
That's all. All right. Am I logged in? No, let me log in. I'm going to change that to reason while I'm thinking about it. Yeah. You. No, it's obvious, right? You're not doing anything to make it not obvious, right?
No.
So basically, I don't know, magical sparkles or waves of energy or however you want to picture it, go from your window across the street, poof, hit the guy, and he shrinks down. He turns into he's a badger underneath a pile with a big wool hat on top of his head. So. And he knows where it came from. It's not subtle. So.
Nope.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, reason plus power.
At that point, I'll walk out and get a job. I'll leave him in that condition until he's like well out of sight, and then just kind of shut it off.
Careful. Yeah, well, no. See if the badger follows you without his clothes. and then we can pop him back in the middle of town.
Now that would be a dedicated thug.
Let's see how dedicated it is. He'll make a presence roll to see how much determination he's got. Oh, he rolled slightly better than average, which is not good enough. The badger flees.
Without his clothes. Oh boy.
Without his pistol, without his clothes, without anything in his pockets, the badger simply takes off through the snow, kind of like doing like a kind of a. At first, it's like running straight, and it's just snow's piling up in front of it, and then it starts doing like this hop thing through the snow, and eventually it like goes around the corner and it's gone.
Boy, is he going to be embarrassed when he becomes
Making
again.
panicked badger noises.
It's gonna be cold too. It's wintertime.
Honey badger, don't give a shit.
I don't want to turn him into a honey badger. That'd be
Oh yeah, you would have had a problem.
Well, this is a European
Badass
badger,
honey
which is
badger.
different from your American badger.
Yes, it's an English badger.
Oh, it's an English badger. Oh, well, that's a badger of a different color. All right. Anyway, yeah, badger flees.
Now, go to Johnny Diamond.
Do you, just throwing this out there, you have all of his pockets right there in front of you on the ground in the snow.
Oh, take them with you.
Go
I'll
through
just
them.
pepper it all up, and kind of tie it up into a knot, into a ball, and carry it with me. Since he fled.
All right. There's a big revolver
Finder's
and
fee.
various stuff and big heavy wool coat. Yeah, it's quite a bundle. All right.
Finders, keepers, sweepers.
And you head to where? Johnny Diamond's?
Johnny Diamonds, yes.
Do
Okay.
badgers weep?
No, but the human will when he turns back in the cold without his winter.
Do
It is all
badgers
together.
dream of? Do badgers dream of thugs weep?
That's a stretch.
Yeah. it didn't
All right,
work
so-
out. You saw where I was going with it. Though.
You get points for effort. So Doc Celyddon, a half hour or so, 20 minutes or so, shows up. Walking, driving? How do you get there? I'm curious.
Walking, if it's within walking distance. I don't actually own a car.
Oh, okay. It is within walking distance, but it's like a half hour walk.
Okay.
So, whole place is dark when you get there.
Go around the back and knock on the door.
There's a knock at the door. Shoot! Shoot now!
Look out, it may be badgers.
I let Leslie take care of the door. I'm kind of shot right now.
By this time, you're
Well,
actually
why don't you call
feeling much
Why
better.
don't you call Carole and I'll get the door. And I will get the door.
Doc Celyddon is at the door.
Okay. I'm guessing by this time it's like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
It's like 5:30, 6 o'clock. It's still pitch black out. It'll be pitch black out for like another 2 hours. But, yeah. Because it's winter. Like early January. Like January 7th, let's say.
Yeah, the thing is, calling up Carole in the middle of the night to tell her to be careful of snipers on her way to work. I want to let her get as much sleep as she can.
Okay.
Considerate of you.
Instead of calling up, oh, by the way, I've been shot.
Yeah, Doc Celyddon can do something about this. Carole really can't do anything about this until she gets to work.
Hey, Doc.
Good morning.
So Carole sleeps the sleep
Come
of the
on
just.
in.
The sweet sleep of ignorance.
Anyway, I'll come in, drop the bundle that I'm carrying on a convenient nearby table, rummage through it, see if there's anything interesting in it.
I hesitate to ask, but where'd you get it?
The individual owner doesn't need it anymore. I tell him he probably needs it rather desperately right now. He just doesn't have it anymore.
Well, okay.
There was somebody watching my apartment.
Ah,
He isn't anymore.
should I ask what you turned him into?
Badger.
Ah, Okay.
Well, Frog is just so kind of passe, and besides that, it may very well have killed him in this weather.
Probably, because frogs really don't like it cold.
Yeah, I figured something furry would be nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, he probably ain't furry no more.
Oh no, or up.
Well, that was silly of him running off and leaving his clothing like that.
I know, and rather convenient for me too.
Well,
So-
Johnny's inside.
That's what's wrong. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Rummaging through the pockets, the obvious stuff you get. There's car keys, the gun I mentioned. There are several tickets from horse races from the Hippodrome.
Okay.
There's a big. Well, the place is called the
I
Hippodrome.
wonder if any of them are good.
Let's see.
no, that's
He's
stuff would have
got a
been
wallet
previous.
with, I don't know, 60, 70 francs in it. Picture of a girl, young woman, grown-up woman.
A dame.
A dame. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm at the age where lots of my friends have children. so could be his daughter. If I just say girl, it depends on how old he is. No, but a dame. He's got a picture of a dame, dressed like a showgirl, posing, and it's a photograph of that. Let's see what else he's got. Random bits and bobs and things. A few loose bullets in one pocket.
Okay.
I think that'd be it. Other personal items. So in case I think of something later out, it'll just be one of those other personal items.
Is there an ID, the important thing?
Had people moved from keeping their driver's licenses in their car to keeping their driver's licenses in their wallet by the 1960s? I think they did.
Yeah.
Plus, the Empire's kind of fascist a little bit, so they probably want people to carry ID. So yeah, he has a driver's license in his pocket, in his wallet. So you have his name,
Okay. Well,
which
very good.
doesn't matter, but later you just say, I say the thug's name, and that's who it is. Because he doesn't matter, so he's not going to get a picture or a name. He's just the thug who's watching your house.
Got it.
And is now running around naked.
Until he gets picked up.
Not
by the
until
cops.
he's a human again. Oh wait, did you let him go?
Yeah, after about 10 minutes, I turned it, or I turned the spell off, so he reverted back to form.
Cool. Yeah, I would imagine you're trudging through the snow, getting kind of chilly, and you're like, oh, screw this. And you let that go and you make yourself warm.
There you go.
So, yeah. So you have his name. You know where he lives, or at least where he lived when he got his driver's license. And presumably, if you can find his car, you've got his keys.
It's probably near your apartment.
And his
I'm assuming
house
at this
key.
point they don't have registrations for the car.
That would be in the car.
Keep an eye,
Yeah.
when I'm on my way home, I'll keep an eye out. I'm not a complete barbarian. If I see his car, I'll throw his clothes in the back seat, along with his keys, and lock them all in the trunk.
See, this is what a gentleman does. So
Right.
Because if he's smart, he has a spare set of keys.
If he's smart, he's gotten himself into his car and warmed himself up.
oh.
Yeah. That assumes, well, that's not smart. That's knowing how to.
Keep yourself alive.
No, it's knowing how to open up your car without your keys.
Yeah, it's knowing how to break
He's
into
a thug. He'll figure it out. So,
Oh, speaking of knowing how, apparently some buildings are still old enough that the old credit card through the edge of the latch will open a locked door.
you told us this story last week.
Yeah.
Have you had a chance to use it again?
Nope.
You just still
Did it
still
that
kind of
way.
tickled by it.
Yeah, I'm still tickled by it. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So you're all there. It's still dark 30 in the morning, but an actual sunrise is on its way in about an hour and a half or so. What do you do? What's your plan?
Find the bullet that Leslie was talking about.
Oh, I've probably still got it, and I'll hand it to him.
See if I can scry and get a location on the rifle.
All right. You would roll. It's a thaumaturgy roll, reason plus power. And rather than stick penalty dice on you, I'm going to roll it on the dice to roll against you. So
Okay. 22.
Man, you roll really well. You have a lot of dice, though. So, versus 20. I rolled a 20 against you. So,
Wow.
that's well, you can see why Leslie wasn't quite able to do it. She did figure out the direction. The bullet spun and pointed in a direction, but she didn't get a clear idea how far it was. But you do your deal, and you have like a mental image.
Dr. Celyddon hits it, and the bullet hops over to a map and points to the
Points to the rifle anyway.
The bullet turns to a pencil and draws a map to it. But you get a picture of the gun is in a dark enclosed space next to a box of ammunition and what you think is a car battery and a jack and a spare tire. So.
In the car.
It's in somebody's trunk.
But you have a good idea where it is.
Okay.
Like the bullet can lead you there, that kind of thing. Like if you have the bullet in your pocket, you can go there and know when you're there.
All right. Anybody up for making a walk?
Sure.
Oh, it's not walking distance.
Oh.
You'd have to
Sorry.
drive.
Well, we know a direction. Why don't we, Johnny, you have a car, don't you?
Yes, a few of them.
Why don't we just hop in a car and go in the direction I know they went, and we'll see if we're going to get cold or warm.
But yeah, we can easily find it with the bullet. It'll show me the way. At the very least, the thug in question will know why he's shooting at us. Somebody is bound to have, given him a reason, or at least told him to go and do it.
Okay.
Well, we would hope anyway.
I will show you a map. This is not a completely accurate map of the game world, but it's a pretty decent map of the geography. So, I will share this with you now. There you go.
Very good.
The Crozon Peninsula. That orange thing next to the word Camaret, that is basically downtown. That's where Carole's office is, and probably her apartment is also like toward the edges of that. A little bit down from that, like where the Black Star is like where Johnny's club is. And you guys are all more or less in that area. Lafrette is where you are headed to. Lafrette is an important port, primarily for passenger traffic. It's well known for the fog which blankets its cobblestone streets. It's usually foggy in the morning with some sun in the afternoon. Then the fog rolls in again as evening approaches. Lafrette in particular is just well known for fog. Just the geography and the way the currents work. Basically to the left and right of Lafrette, where you see those little bays, that whole area just very foggy.
All right.
And Lafrette is home to many of Polish descent whose ancestors settled here during the Wars of Polish Unification in the early 19th century, when Emperor Napoleon I freed Poland from the Russian Federation and accepted it generously into the empire.
Wasn't
So,
that nice?
hell of a guy, Napoleon I. Always helping
Yeah.
people. So,
His prime goal, I hear.
That's why there's statues of him everywhere. there's probably 24 Napoleon Avenue de Napoleon throughout Cambrai-sur-Mer. Just like if you tell people you live on
Rue
Avenue
de Bonaparte.
Avenue Bonaparte, yeah, it doesn't narrow it down. You've got to like tell them no, not that one, not that one. It's the one like down. It's by the cathedral. That one. Yeah, okay.
It's the Rue de Bonaparte.
South Swede.
1796, not 1794.
So yeah.
That was one of the things going around in Romania and Hungary. Every city had like 5 or 6 streets named after a date.
I don't remember that when we were going around Europe.
Yeah, there was like a 10th of December in every city. A 10th of December drive in every city. Because that's when they threw off the Iron Curtain.
Ah.
And there'd be like a September 14th or something in like 7, 8 different cities.
So you drive toward La Frette?
Yes.
Which is officially the 11th district. Or in
Do you think
local...
he's trying to run for England?
In local parlance, it's the 11th arrondissement, but we'll just say 11th district because we speak English. So, but the neighborhood's called La Frette because once upon a time it was actually a town called La Frette until Cambrai-sur-Mer swallowed it. You get close, and I would imagine Doc Celyddon tells you, we're close, slow down, and you're driving down, and there's some traffic, but the snow like muffles everything, so the sound, it's like really quiet. You hear the sound of the engine of your car, and other than that, it's like this eerie quiet because the snow just sucks up all the sound. And you go down like a narrow cobblestone street, and you pass a car, and then pass a car, and then pass a car, and that's the one. It looks just like every other car. This is not a wealthy neighborhood. It's a working class longshoreman type neighborhood. So these cars are all like from the 50s, maybe a couple from the 40s.
All right.
Basically, they're big and go ahead.
I'll point out that that's the one.
Okay, I will drive down the block and.
It's a big
let's say,
brown Citroen.
Okay.
Citroen.
I'll find Citroen. I will find a place to park.
You find a place to park. Clunk, clunk, clunk. As you get out of the car, doors close.
Do a quick check on the car to see if there's anyone in it.
The east is just now starting to turn like you can see the outlines of buildings. The sky's light enough to see that. It's still like midnight blue, but it's a brighter midnight blue than the black overhead. There's nobody in the car. It's empty.
My butt is done with the stability ball now.
Oh, good.
Good to know.
That's why I had to change. I'm a little lower now.
All right, so you've got basically just a working class neighborhood here, like houses or apartment buildings?
Row houses. Like, I had a word for this. There's like an entrance, and inside that entrance, there's like doors that go to an actual residence that's one solid house on one side, one solid house on the other side. And that's like 2 stories. And they are all smushed together. There's very rarely is there an alley. Like every 8 or 10 of these, there'll be like a little alley between them.
All right. Johnny, how are you at breaking into cars?
Me? Not exactly my forte. If only Sebastian were still around.
All right. Well, not a whole lot of people around, I take it. A little early in the morning.
I'm chewing.
Oh, very nice.
Ah.
Okay. Not yet, but any minute now, people with lunchboxes will start walking outside and walking to their jobs. It's around that time in the morning.
Right. All right. In which case, walk up to the car, passenger side, I guess. Make the window malleable, permeable. Reach through it, pop the lock, and open the door.
I won't make you roll for that. However, you open the door, and above you, behind you, on the second floor, a window opens up, and a lady yells out something at you in Polish. Anybody you guys speak Polish?
Nope.
Nope.
In French, she repeats herself, says, "You there! That's not your car! Get away from that! That's not your car! Get away! I see you! I'm going to call the gendarme!"
The gendarmes are already here, ma'am. Whose car is this?
Ooh. Make a roll for that. Deception. That sounds good. Versus, okay, so
and remember, he did step out of a large dark sedan.
That's practically new. Yeah, I get it. So yours is presence.
Yep.
Versus her presence. She rolls completely average.
I rolled 12. Pretty average for me.
Yes, but your presence is higher. So she says, "Oh, my apologies, monsieur." And she goes inside and she closes the window.
No, it doesn't answer your question.
No, she didn't answer his question.
Check the glove box.
It is licensed to Alberto de Sica, which sounds to you like an Italian name.
Does a bit, yes. All right, search the car, see if there's anything else interesting in it.
You take your time, I guess. Well, in the trunk, you find what you... Anybody hear of, what is it mechanics? Mechanical? I got it here somewhere. Gifts, settings, supernatural, skills. Here we go. What did I call it? I can never remember what I call anything. Would it be tradesman, I guess. Anybody here tradesman? Anybody here skilled with mechanical devices? Leslie, Donald,
No.
Doc? No. All right. Well, what seems to be a homemade car battery is in the trunk, along with normal trunk things, and a fairly nice sniper rifle. Anybody here skilled with firearms in a way that would let you know what's a nice sniper rifle from an ordinary hunting rifle?
Oh, no, I have range combat. That's about it. Mostly it's with pistols for me.
Yeah, I have ranged combat and a high reason, but no reason to have specialist knowledge in that.
And probably it's not something Leslie would be able to be that into. All right. It's a long rifle. And an ammo can with a bunch of bullets for the long rifle. The long rifle takes one bullet at a time, and they are this big. for the whole thing, not just the bullet part, but I mean the whole thing. It's like this big. Yeah.
It's a serious piece of equipment these guys are trying to kill me with.
Well, yeah, you were not exaggerating when you said you were lucky to be alive. If she'd hit you twice, she probably would have killed you. So, in the passenger compartment of the car, it is conspicuously clean. Like, the ashtray is empty. That never happens. It's Europe in 1964. Everyone smokes. All the ashtrays are full all the time. So that's unusual. There's no bits of paper on the floor. There's no Burger King wrappers in the back seat. Nothing.
I don't think Burger King existed, or did it?
Well, McDonald's existed back then.
That was about it.
Whatever the equivalent is. There's no crap. What do you call those long pieces of bread?
Baguette.
If there's no baguette wrappers in the back seat, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
No
car's clean.
Yves Dupont.
The glove compartment has what is legally required to be there for the glove compartment. It's like it's got the car registration. Actually, the car registration is actually behind one of the foldy downy things, visors. That's where the registration is. In the glove compartment itself, there's like a pamphlet that came with the car when it was new. The pamphlet is as old as the car. It's like 15 years old.
Okay. I'm not comfortable with the idea of leaving this rather impressive rifle in this person's car, so I'm going to nick it. Toss it in the back of Johnny Diamond's car.
Hey, you're
All right.
police. You're allowed to.
Close the
Theoretically.
car up otherwise.
Make a stealth, I guess, roll. Assuming you want to be on the down low for that.
I don't actually
Or sleight of hand. Sleight of hand would work as well.
Oh, okay. Yep.
All right, roll. I rolled something. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, people are starting to come out of their houses. Basically, gruff-looking guys with black metal toolboxes and lunchboxes. What do you got?
11.
Not great.
No, several people. You are positive. Several people walking by see you carrying the oddly gun-shaped object under your coat and putting it into this other car, and they avert their gaze and continue walking.
I'll pretend I didn't see them while they're busy pretending they didn't see me.
That's pretty much how it works. Then what?
Well, short of waiting until the person comes out and confronting them, really, I don't see any other thing we can do. So, nick the rifle and get the hell out of here, I guess. We know approximately where they're living, anyway.
Leslie, Donald, that's what you want to do?
How about looking for the registration?
Oh yeah, I've got
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so we know who it is.
An Italian-sounding name.
Alberto De Sica.
What he said.
Do licenses of this time have addresses on them?
Yes.
Okay, then we've got his license. We've got his address.
Oh, good point.
The last address he put in, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is an address close by?
It's an address on this street. Like it's that door over there, probably.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we should go knock and see if anyone's at home.
He's okay. We got another thunderstorm coming.
Is that what you do? Is that what everybody does?
I'll head over there. I want to check the house, see if it's got any kind of magical wards or locks or anything of a magical nature on it.
Make a mage sight roll.
How about we let them think that I am deceased for the time being?
20. If you want, you can, hide in the car.
Or, well, long enough to make a grand entrance, at least.
Good point. 20, Brandon.
Wow. That is spectacular. All right, you're like looking at the building, and it's subtle, but there's this kind of like shimmer of the building and the air around it. You think that the death ray has been active in this area, but not a lot.
Oh, okay. So we're getting some kind of like residual magical radiation from whatever the death ray was.
Kinda.
Was being
Something
used.
like that.
I will let my companions know that.
It's really subtle, though. If you didn't roll so stupidly high, you wouldn't have seen it.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
It may
Now
not be.
now we have a motive for why this gentleman is trying to shoot everybody.
And a motive to kick down the door.
Yeah.
And it is just possible that they have a death ray behind that door.
I'm more inclined to want to use something to trigger the death ray before I step into it. Which means if we take the door down, let's take it down from a distance. Or take it down magically.
So I'm actually very disappointed in the fact that none of us has any good breaking and entering abilities.
Yeah, no, we had someone who would do that, but he stopped playing.
They don't hang around anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, we're left with all our investigation people in this game.
Yeah. Well, Sebastian was a criminal, but you people are just crazy.
Are any of the other people who played with us going to come back or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mentioned it
Yeah,
to
I only
Sean,
have
but yeah, he's busy.
I have sleight of hand and stealth.
Those are good things to have.
It's true.
Well, yeah. Come on, look at what I do.
So the sun is not quite risen yet, but the eastern sky is starting to turn hues of purple and orange and pink.
I'm more inclined to want to put a plan together before we gird this fortress. Or make approach of this fortress.
Do you think?
Yeah. We do need, you're right, we do need some more skills we don't have available right now.
Ordinarily, I'd be inclined to just kick down the door and start asking pointed questions of whoever
But
I
you're
thought.
dealing with something you're calling a death ray.
No, I don't
really
call
want
it.
to do that. Well, whoever called it. But do you really want to do that when you're dealing with something that could be called a death ray?
Literally everyone else has called it a death ray.
Right.
I called it an interdimensional thing.
Thomas, he called it like a dimensional transducer or
Something like that.
or something like that.
Yeah, Monsieur Thomas had a colorful name for it.
Yes, a much better.
If this is the device your other client is looking for, we probably want to get help and have a plan.
I'm still waiting to hear back from Mr. Thomas. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was like late last night. Okay. This is as good a time as any. You're standing on a street, and you're talking amongst yourselves in hushed tones as people come out down from their brownstones and start walking to work. And while you're standing there, in the snow next to you, the snow starts to hiss, and a message appears in the snow, as somebody has like heated up a red hot poker and like cut the message in the snow. It says C period A period A period at 1300.
Oh, okay. He'll see us at 1 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Well, he is busy.
I understand. Okay, I can understand how the two of you might not want to, kick down the door, guns blazing at 8:30 in the morning with a large street full of Polish immigrants staring at us. So let's go find something else to do until 1 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Like
Let's mark
sleep.
this place. Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Johnny Diamond, at this point, you were kind of like feeling like, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for a bit after Leslie did his healing thing on you. But that's kind of faded, and you're feeling fine now, and the adrenaline's kind of worn off. So you guys are chatting, and Johnny Diamond's like leaning up against the car, like.
Yeah, I seem to recall I was up early in the morning.
Yeah, you've been awake like 22 hours now.
Well,
Yeah.
All right,
It's time for Sleepy Bye.
why don't you?
I'll reiterate Thomas's message, and we can get out of here.
Well, tell you what. Why don't you mortal types go get some sleep, and I'll meet you at Johnny's at 1 o'clock. I'll keep an eye on the place. I can take another form myself.
Don't do a badger.
No, I don't think so.
It's already been done. Yeah. Besides that, you might have an unpleasant encounter with an angry one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Leslie's got shape change, so when you need to go, you can just fly. You can just turn
I
into a
know.
bird or something.
Well, actually, that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to probably find a place to perch on a tree and be a winter-type bird that doesn't care about the cold.
Sounds good.
Yep.
So everybody else leaves, drives home.
Yes.
You
And I'm just
steal
gonna watch
their
the place.
very nice
And I'm
sniper
just gonna
rifle.
Watch the place for a while, pretending to be asleep.
Wow, they're really going to miss that rifle. It's a really nice rifle.
Aw.
All right. So you guys go home, do whatever you're doing. Leslie keeps an eye out. The building that you are pretty sure is the building of the address, right? All the blinds are drawn. You can't look into the windows.
Okay.
I'm just going to wait till somebody comes or goes. That's all I'm watching for.
Okay. Meanwhile, Carole, you wake up, you're ready for work, you're all ready to go. Just picture, this is my perception, right? Tell me if I'm wrong. I picture that Carole actually really likes her job. Because a magician and a guy who owns a nightclub and a ferry, if you wanted to do something else with your life at this point, you probably could.
Yeah, exactly.
But you have your
I thought
job.
you'd do it even better.
So, yeah. So you go to work, you go into the office, you fill out some forms, you answer some questions, you calm your boss down because he's panicked about something. But whatever it is, it's a problem for him because he doesn't know what to do about it. But you're like, no, wait. Let me call somebody. You call somebody in this department, you call somebody in that department, you have them talk to each other, and basically the problem is like 70% solved, and more importantly, no longer your boss's problem. So you carry that to him, and he's like, oh, God, Carole, I don't know what I would do without you. Please don't ever leave. Don't ever leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Please don't leave. So, yeah. Lunchtime comes, and one of the pages, the office manager, the person who brings you staples when you run out, she comes up to the desk and she goes, Miss Desjardins? Mademoiselle?
Yes?
I have a note. Your driver is downstairs for your lunch appointment.
My lunch appointment. Okay.
Oui.
I must have forgotten
Mais
about
oui.
that. Thank you.
Okay. Bonjour. Enjoy your lunch. And she goes off on her stupidly high heels. All right.
Click, 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 click.
Pretty much, yes.
All right. Okay, this should be interesting. Go to get my stuff and go downstairs.
There is a large, fancy black car. Not too different from Johnny Diamond's, but it is not Johnny Diamond's. And as you come out of the front doors of the SIT, along with a bunch of other people who were just going off to go to lunch, the back window goes electrically. That's fancy. Only really
Yeah,
expensive
for that.
cars have that.
Yeah.
And a woman inside, she's on the far side of the car, so she leans so she can see you, and you can see her. She's like this. I will show you to her now. I've lost my pointer. Oh, there it is. This lady.
Oh, wow. Ha! Okay.
That's actually Brigitte Bardot.
Without the magic.
But that's magic.
It's what she actually looks like in the real world. Okay. The character's name is Juliette Girardot. Anyway, she leans down. She says, Mademoiselle Desjardins.
Yeah,
Oh, please come along. We're not late, but we don't want to be. And then
Okay.
she sits back in wherever she's sitting and kind of waits for you to get in the car. Oh,
Okay.
the front door opens and the driver gets out and he comes around the car door and he opens the car door for you. And
Oh,
he
for
bows
such
a
an
little bit.
invitation, I can hardly refuse. Okay.
The driver's like in a uniform with like a cap.
All right, and I get in, and
Clunk, he closes the door.
and-
And he gets into the front seat. And
Alright.
he knows where he's going, so there's like a glass thing between you and the front seat. It's like smoked glass. It goes bzzz, and the clip goes up.
And to what do I owe the pleasure of your company today?
Monsieur Montand wanted to speak with you, and he felt it was important that someone of your stature be given the appropriate respect. So he sent me to bring you along to make sure that you are, so that you know that you should be perfectly at ease and you are in no danger whatsoever.
Yeah.
Would you like some champagne?
Amazing how it has the opposite effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, thank you. I do actually intend to go back to work after this.
So I'm working now. You don't mind if I do you?
Please go right ahead.
She puffs, pours herself a glass of champagne. It's here if you want it. She puts it back in the ice, sips. So, the SIT, interesting career. Do you encounter magicians often?
Not really. No, that's another area of the department.
Still, for someone of your youth to have such a position of authority, that's really you must be quite good at your job.
They say so. Yes.
Well, clearly, Monsieur Montand thinks so. Oh, actually, Johnny Diamond would know without rolling. I'll make roll. Make a culture roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll roll against you, and we'll see what you got. Because you've been looking this kind of stuff up for a while. You may have run across his name.
I have culture, but I do not have expertise.
So 2d6 plus your, for this to be reason, because you're remembering.
Which I believe, yep, I am correct on that one. 14.
Oh, you get it just fine. Monsieur Montand is an upper circle Parrain gangster. Like,
Why am I not surprised?
I thought this. Oh, boy.
And actually, you've met him briefly. You and one of his children were kidnapped by the Count's men a little over a year ago.
Yes.
You very briefly met him when everybody was getting their hoods taken off their heads, and the police were sorting things out, and there were like a whole bunch of dead gangsters. He was there briefly, so like you didn't have a conversation or anything, but you actually saw him and you like heard his name and that sort of thing. Anyway, oh, he looked like this. I may as well show you, right? Hang on. This is Alexandre Montand. And by upper level, I mean there's not a level above his.
You get to meet the Godfather.
Pretty much.
Yep,
Yeah.
There we go.
Looks like the Godfather to me.
Yeah. In Camry Sumer, there are probably 4 people at this level. One's this guy, one is Monsieur Thomas, and then there's like a couple more that
For
I'm
each
not
of
going to
the
name now
different,
because
little
it doesn't
groups,
matter.
I guess.
Anyway, the car drives for 15-20 minutes and gets to the Hippodrome, which is a huge racetrack in... I've got a map and everything. I'll show you what it is. Why not?
It's where
Visual
they race
aids.
the hippos.
It's a racetrack. The hippo is for... you're just being silly.
I-
Okay,
yeah,
you see halfway between Crozon and Telgruck-sur-Mer, there's a D887 where a bunch of roads meet.
Yes.
Okay, where that D887 is, that's where the Hippodrome is. And it's essentially an enormous racetrack facility. It actually has several horse racing tracks and huge stands, and from time to time there are concerts and festivals and things there, but for the most part it's horse racing and gambling. So the car goes through a gate and it goes into like a behind the scenes kind of area and through some more gates and then around the back, and you're passing very small men leading very large horses, and then it pulls up to a series of stables, and car stops, guy comes around, opens the door, lets you out, lets Madame Girardot out, and she says thank you to him because she's polite, and she says, if you'll come with me please, and then she leads you down past a whole bunch of stable doors down it's like a long indoor hallway, except the ends are open because they're like big ass barn doors that horses go in and out of. And you get about halfway down, and there's a stable, and there's a horse, and there's this guy who I showed you the picture of, and he's like brushing the horse, and he's dressed in like a 300 franc suit, which is a lot of money. And he says, Mademoiselle Deschardin, thank you so much for coming. I hope this was not too much of an inconvenience. If there's any trouble at all, I'll be happy to speak to any superiors you may have about it.
No, it was lunchtime anyways.
Well, that was my understanding. Thank you, Juliet. And he like gestures, and she goes, "Oui," and she goes off back to where the car was. And he says, "It's such a pleasure to see you again. I don't know if you remember, but we've actually met once.
Yes, vaguely. Yes, I remember.
With business with the Maghrebi gangster with the colorful name, Prince or something.
Yes.
Maghrebi. They have a flair for the dramatic. So, you're probably wondering why I've asked you to come here.
Indeed.
Well, have you ever been to the Hippodrome before?
Would she have been? Most likely not. Unless it was like, work related, or she had to go find her boss there. Probably not.
Oh, we can
Unless
say
it's a
not.
place highly fashionable.
He's like, no. I can tell from your expression you're thinking gambling. Oh, so distasteful. No. It's much more than that. Why, right now, next week, not even a week, on next Wednesday, we will be having Le Cirque de la Piste. And that you've actually heard of. It's an annual huge circus event. It's like all the best circus performers across the empire, and it travels from city to city. It's usually in Paris. It's like 2 out of 3 years it's in Paris. But every once in a while it'll be somewhere else. It'll be in, Montmartre or some whatever. Well, this year it's in Cambrai-sur-Mer. And it's to fund. It's like a there's 2 parts of it. There's the circus itself, which is the performance of a whole bunch of like the young up and coming circus performers, all the best of the best, and then they get prizes: bronze, gold, and silver, or gold, silver, and bronze. And so there's that. There's also a gala, which is a black tie affair, which is a fundraising event to fund the like medical expenses and retirement, essentially, of circus performers who can't perform anymore. So it's actually a huge deal. So that's he's like, yeah, next Tuesday, Cirque de la Piste will be here. Of course, we're going to have to, I do a lot of work in there. So we delay the setup until the last minute because it costs quite a lot of money, as you can imagine. But
Jeez.
just
Impressive,
shutting down the racetrack for a few days it'll cost me hundreds of thousands of francs. But it's for culture and for the circus, and so it's not just gross gambling. It's more than that. Well, you should come. You should come.
Mostly- I said it's mostly gross gambling.
I will have to look into getting tickets. Yes.
Say no more. I'll have it taken care of. You should bring a friend. Oh, someone with more class than that Johnny Diamond person, preferably. But no. If you want to bring him, please. He's your friend. You should bring anyone you want to bring.
Brings Doc Celyddon.
Why didn't you bring a bodyguard?
In fact, I'll have them sent to your office. Would that be acceptable to you? I don't want to intrude onto your private space. I don't want it sent to your home. That would be, I think, presumptuous.
Well, that would be very nice. Thank you.
I will take care of it. So, that brings me to why I've asked you here today.
Yes.
A very curious thing happened the other day, and I was hoping that you could help explain it to me. Your friend, Monsieur Diamond, was visited by a large collection of, we'll call them gangsters. So,
Had I already heard about this yet?
I assume so.
Okay.
The visit by Bernadette Blanchard. Has somebody told Carole about this yet? If not, this will be a surprise.
No, we've been keeping her informed.
Okay, I assumed you had. So, right. And,
Yeah, she may have even come into the office to find a little memo saying that Johnny Diamond had been shot.
not at this point. This is like that same day.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So he got shot last night. This is like that morning.
And
You guys
we
are
haven't
asleep at this
called her
point.
yet, so hey.
Well, I was thinking about calling her when we got home, but y'all kept me out way too late.
And he passed out as soon as he got there.
So, a retinue of Pied Noir gangsters came to the Café Azure Americain a couple of days and shut the entire place down. They
Yes, I
kept
heard.
it fairly quiet, but, one does hear things. Here's why I find that so curious. You see, a little over a year ago, it was last November, when you and my son were both captured by the Grebby gangster. What was his name? It wasn't Prince. It was something else the Baron or something.
She would remember, but who was it?
The
I
Count.
think it was no.
The Count.
Huh? The
The
Count. The Count?
Oui, the Count. The Count? Really? What, he's like a moo, boo, whatever. So, shortly after that, no, this will not make sense unless I give you some of the backstory. Up until this time, the area of Café Azure Americain, extending up and down Rue de la Place, had been a controversial area. It had been Parrains for generations. Pied Noir, they come in, they start taking this, they take that, and they were making inroads, this shop, that shop, the other shop, in this area. At that time, there was a little unpleasantness, but for the most part we had avoided it. Once this thing with the Count happened, and it all was resolved, but with you and your friend Mr. Diamond and a few other people, a representative of the Pied Noir approached us and proposed a neutral territory, a neutral zone, if you will, where they would not attempt to expand into it, and we would not attempt to expand into it, and it would be peace in this area. Right along that street where Cafe Azure American is, standing up to, and he names an intersection, which you remember as being where Doc Celadon used to live. He doesn't live there now. He moved. But it's specific. He mentions an intersection, and you think, well, that's like actually right the intersection where Doc Celadon lived in November a year ago. So he's like, so the Pied Noir, now they had been expanding, and we were anticipating some unpleasantness of a loud nature. So it's a good opportunity. Stop their advance. There's peace. Peace is good for profit. Everyone's happy. And then the same Pied Noir, a mid-level person, not as important as some, more important than most, visits Monsieur Diamond with 30, 40 people, I've heard. Why is that? Do you know?
She was brought up best with that, right? Yeah.
We're going to say yes.
Yes. Huh. Well, fortunately for me, I was not there, but I believe would she want to tell him what's going on here? I don't know.
Is she hesitating? He said, come, I know that you are in Monsieur Diamond's confidence. I know that you know. I assure you, I have nothing but respect.
Karen's looking for words.
It's Karen's looking for words. Yes. Because she has diplomacy, deception, manipulation, culture.
Okay. Then take a moment to compose yourself. I shall wait.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't kill anything to at least mention to him it was part that her confronting Johnny Diamond was part of an ongoing investigation into what we were looking into.
Yes.
The real estate mogul's daughter having her mind wiped. Yeah.
Well,
I think it's a pretty legitimate reason.
Absolutely, yes. Apparently she decided to come visit Johnny Dollar personally, due to his investigation into the mentioned the person, because I'm not doing it well. She would. Elaine.
I get it.
Elaine Degon.
Having her memory wiped. Johnny Dollar had been asked by the family to look into it, and apparently it led that into her office. And apparently she decided to make him a return visit.
Roll 2d6 plus your presence.
Presence.
You need a 9 or more.
My presence is a decent one, so 12.
Oh, easily. So it does not startle you at all. When he's listening to you, he's still holding the brush, like he was brushing the horse, but while you're talking, he's listening to you, but he's holding the brush. And you say that about this and that and the other, Helene Degon. And he's like, And he gestures, and you would have sworn you were alone with him. Like the closest person is 20 feet away. Mm-hmm. He gestures, and a person who you would have sworn was not standing there a moment ago steps toward, and he whispers something to them, and they whisper to him. He's like, Degon, Elaine Degon. Ah, yes. She was dating one of our, a casino owner.
Yes, that's what I heard.
Interesting. And this is what the meeting with the Pied Noir was about.
Yes. Apparently her memory had been wiped.
He whispers to the guy again. The guy whispers back. He looks at the guy, and the guy nods. And he's like, all right. No, that makes perfect sense. Now that you just put it this way. All right, well. Yeah, I'm so sorry to have inconvenienced you with such a small matter, which I suppose if my own people had done a bit more investigation, and he looks at the guy, and the guy kind of like takes a step back. Because perhaps we would not have needed to bother you at all, and I'm so sorry. I will give you the best tickets to the Cirque de la Piste, and remember, it's black tie. Wear your best.
Of course, thank you.
I look forward to seeing you there. Madame Jardot, we'll see you back to your office. Please, if you'd like to stop somewhere, I've consumed your entire lunchtime. If you would like to stop somewhere and have a bite to eat, please, it's my gift to you. It's been a pleasure meeting you, Miss Desjardins.
Likewise, thank you.
He goes back to brushing the horse.
All right. I will follow. I'm sure she's standing right there, of course, because.
Well, she's actually. You turn and she's like walking toward you.
Yes.
They don't exactly all have telepathy, but they're really good at reading what he wants. Because the people who weren't really good at reading what he wants don't work for him anymore.
And some of them aren't even alive anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, most
No,
of them don't.
why would you say such a thing? He's been nothing but nice to you. Oh,
Hey, I'm not saying out loud.
Godfather.
She wouldn't say that. She wouldn't. She knows better.
Anyway,
A
yeah.
silly, unrelated interjection based on something said earlier. Burger King is actually 2 years older than McDonald's.
No kidding, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
I was just curious.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
Unrelated thing, Michael Evanetti just tweeted Rudy Giuliani with the message, "Buckle up, Buttercup."
So Carole, sooner or later, gets back to work. No one says a word.
Who's gonna say anything?
Nah. So you take a long lunch. You're still back before your boss. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I will take him up on the offer to pick me up something at like whatever place on the way back. Like,
Yeah,
if I
you
know a
stop
place.
somewhere and get a. What do French people eat for lunch? I don't know. If it were Switzerland, it would be a bratwurst and a pretzel or something like that.
Oh, man,
but,
that would be so awesome. But whatever the French eat for lunch.
a
Something with cheese in it.
Brie.
Yes.
crepe and a slice of brie.
Probably a baguette sandwich with some kind of meat and cheese.
Sounds good. I should probably research that, huh? All right. What do French people eat? I don't know. Cream sauces, that's all I'm thinking. But that doesn't seem like to-go food, you know? All right, work. The afternoon passes. At some point, Doc Celyddon and Johnny Diamond wake up. Does Leslie see anything interesting? Let me see if Leslie sees anything interesting.
Whatever is in Google's not working.
Make a... Oh, there you are, Leslie. Make a... what would it be? Investigation. Make an investigation roll. Leslie.
What if it's not listed?
If
let
you-
me see. Close
Then it's
contact.
just 2 dice and you don't add your reason.
Don't add
That is
anything.
correct.
Okay. My total is 7. Not great.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
Well, you don't see anything of any particular interest, and the afternoon is passing. So...
Okay, well I'll go. I want to be back at the Johnny's by 1 o'clock, so I'll.
Oh,
fly
that's
off.
true. That's true. I
Yeah.
totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so I'll fly off. I'll probably fly off around 12.
Okay, so the morning was uneventful for Leslie. So
Yeah.
you guys wake up, I assume, in time for whatever,
The 1 o'clock.
the 1 o'clock.
They get a nice lunch. They get a starter, salad, soup, or a pate or terrine. A main course, typically a fish or meat with potatoes, rice, pasta, vegetables, and a cheese course and or dessert. That's their lunch.
Wow. Well, you get about half of those things on a baguette as your to-go lunch. So, what are we doing? Here we go. Is this it? Yeah. Hello, kitty. Meanwhile, back at the Café Azure Americain.
Yes.
It's 1:45. You're all there except for Carole, who's at work. What are you doing?
waiting for the Mr. Thomas to show up.
Waiting where?
Well, last time he showed up was on the roof, so I'll head up there and see if he's there.
Does Johnny Diamond go up there with you? And or Leslie? Wake up, Donald.
Yeah, I assume we should be, kind of keeping together here in case of a sniper shot.
Yeah, I would.
You've got the rifle, but just saying.
Not to mention the fact that we are all investigating his little project at this point, some form or another.
Expensive sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay. At the stroke of 1 o'clock, somewhere in the city, there are several cathedrals that go bong, 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 like throughout the city to mark the hour. And as the last peal of those bells fades away, up on the roof, there appears this fella. Sitting in a chair, a big round back wicker chair. And there's a table with different bowls with fruits and meats and little sausages and chopped up vegetables and stuff. And glasses of water and glasses of fruit juice and a couple of bottles of wine. And there's a large umbrella overhead over the whole thing. Not quite. What do you call, not an umbrella. It's like a covering with like posts. What do you call that?
Canopy.
Canopy. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
And a half dozen palm trees, frondy kind of palm trees. The kind that it's not a stalk in like this. It's more like big leaves, like an areca palm, if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, in big flower pots. There's a half a dozen of those around. Anyway, 1 minute it's not there, and next minute it is.
Nice special effect.
Cool.
And
Way cool.
he turns to look around because he doesn't know where you are because he just got there. And he sees you guys, and he gestures over.
Give him a bow. And do introductions. Mr. Thomas, these are associates of mine. Johnny Diamond, the proprietor of the establishment, and Leslie, who is a member of, I forget the name of your band, but I'll mention it.
I haven't gotten a name yet. I'm still working on one.
He's a member of the band to be named later.
Yes.
I brought them along because they have a bearing on the information that I was going to pass on to you.
The amazing music group, TBA.
Well, considering I come from the idea that I'm actually from England, or from Wales more specifically, so it's probably a Welsh name of some sort.
So
Lots
it
of
sounds like
E's and
something
L's and W's.
Yeah.
This is Leslie. He's a member of the band.
And only Doc Celyddon can pronounce it properly.
Pronounce it probably, yeah.
But anyway.
He nods to, but doesn't make any other particular gesture or notice of Johnny Diamond or Leslie. And he goes, but he's, once you make the introductions, he says, "Pleased to meet you. Any associate of Dr. Celyddon is welcome. Have a seat if you like. I know that this is approximately midday meal, yes, so help yourselves. I don't wish to make you go hungry."
I'll take him up on his offer.
Oh, whoa.
And there are on the other side of the table there are 3 chairs.
Have a seat.
I appreciate that. Mr. Thomas, was it?
Yes. One moment.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's like nothing louder than ice.
Don't I know it?
Okay. So,
Why would you throw a bin full of Legos to find that one Lego piece?
Well, there is one thing louder than ice. Ice cream.
okay. Okay, so there are things louder than ice, but we can agree that ice is loud. So,
Yes.
he gestures you to sit down if you want to sit down. And he waits for you to get comfortable or whatever, and then he just waits for you to start because you're here to talk to him, right?
Correct. So I'll let him know about what's been going on with trying to hunt down the death ray. That other members of the milieu have expressed an interest in it, and they have requested that Johnny Diamond find the device in question. And also, people have been trying to shoot us, and I believe that these two facts are related.
They tried rather hard. I would say that they have been successfully shooting us.
Yes, they have been shooting us. Correct.
You might want to mention the nasty effects of said device recently.
Yes. Also, we've been to the morgue. We've investigated the two sets of remains that are at the morgue, and I have traced the kind of radiation pattern from them and from what I suspect to be the device to a location in, tell them where we found the car. So there's a distinct possibility it may have been used there also. But I was curious to see, basically just to catch him up on it and to see what he wants us to, how he wants us to respond to what's been going on.
It sounds like your investigation is bearing fruit. I trust you to continue in whatever path you deem appropriate.
When he says the word fruit, Johnny Diamond is going to pick a piece of fruit off of a plate.
Can we ask you a question to help us continue in our affairs? This device, is there any reason we need to be cautious? Exactly what does it do?
Oh,
I have photos of what it does.
You should absolutely exercise the utmost caution. Its effects can be quite unpleasant.
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
We've seen the bodies, yes.
I have not. What? These are the ones you went to the morgue to examine?
Yes. I'll describe them in gory detail.
That seems congruent with the effects of the device as I understand it.
Is it some kind of, does it affect dimensional things in any way?
He doesn't lean forward, but he just sits there and his head swivels. He actually very rarely moves. He'll gesture, but then when he's not gesturing, he's as still as a statue. But his head swivels toward Leslie, and he doesn't lean forward, but you kind of get that feel of leaning forward.
Yeah.
Okay, and he does not see you for anything other than a normal person. He says,
do you have a background in thaumaturgy?
To some degree, yes.
The world as you see it is one layer of reality. There are layers below and above. The Shadowland, where fairies come from, for example, is very near to ours. There are others above and below that on considerably distant. What the device does is causes the layers to overlap. The technical explanation would take quite some time, which you don't have. but the effects on living matter in the overlapped area can be quite grotesque.
Yes. Was this
Also,
intentional?
the entities native to these other layers, when they become aware of normal people, the reaction tends to be somewhat hostile.
Question, is the device intended to overlap and create this damage to living tissue, or was it just not created well? I don't know how else to ask.
I can only theorize, as the gentleman who created it originally is deceased. But my theory is that it was not intended as a weapon, but as a lantern to illuminate worlds to explore. And my hope is that it may be made to do that once acquired from people whose vision of its possibilities is so limited.
I kind of suspected that. That's why I asked. Thank you.
Oh, that was a surprisingly insightful question for a normal person.
I'm not.
Do you have any other questions?
Do you know if there's a way to turn the thing off?
My understanding is that its power source is quite potent and can remain on indefinitely. So,
Why we
while
have to
the
be
answer
careful.
would be yes, it would also be not necessarily.
All right, well, we'll do what we can.
And please understand, I've not examined it personally. I'm relying upon second and third hand information.
From probably non-technical experts either.
All too often.
All right, well, we will continue on our search for it, and I'll let you know. You will be the first one that we inform when we actually acquire the device.
Why would you inform anyone else?
Well, as I said, another member of the milieu has expressed interest in it and has hired Johnny Diamond to track the device down and turn it over to her.
Well, since Johnny Diamond hasn't been paid, I wouldn't exactly.
Well, she has requested it in exchange for continued protection.
It was a rather heavy-handed offer.
He like holds up a tiny brown withered hand.
Mr. Diamond, the milieu person to which the doctor referred, is that Ms. Blanchard?
You are as perceptive as the stories tell.
Oh, I'm disappointed that there are stories. But in any case, you should know that Miss Blanchard is who I originally approached to obtain the item for me. And I suspect that if you deliver it to her, she will simply deliver it to me. It's easier for all concerned if you leave her out of the loop. Her concerns can be more directly addressed if I have the object and consider her debt fulfilled.
Besides, since she offered me protection, I've been assassinated.
Well, you've recovered well from it, then.
Semi-assassin. Okay, then. That is literally that's the most important thing I wanted to discover from this guy. So.
And I got my question answered, which is
So I'll stand up, thank him for lunch, bow, and tell him that I'll be in contact with him when we have the device.
Please, feel free to take any of the food with you or the drink. It would simply go to waste otherwise.
Oh, well, thank you. And I'll be right back. Beth just got home.
Yay!
So, Thomas, it has been a pleasure to finally meet you. You are much more charming than those who speak of you only in terms of your nickname.
It's just his head. I don't want to say looks at you because you can't really see his eyes. It's just got these mirrored lenses, right? But his head points at you for like a full 10, 15 seconds. And he says,
You are precisely what I expected, Mr. Diamond. I am pleased that I was not disappointed.
And then I guess I'll stand up last and I'll bow to him and say, it was a pleasure to meet you, sir. And thank you for sharing so willingly.
Oh, a small token.
I'll share this with Lloyd when he gets back. But he'll say that
I'm pleased with your progress, and I have the utmost faith in your ability to fulfill the request I've made. I do hope that none of the assassination attempts on you are successful.
Thank you. So far, only the two. And no, neither successful.
You never forget your first assassination attempt.
Oh, no.
at some point you guys turn away, and when you turn back, everything's gone. Hang on a second, I gotta tell Susan goodnight.
Okay.
Night, sweetness.
Well, I'm not so sure either the summer court or the winter court are going to be happy with the fact that this device is in use in any way, shape, or form.
Well, the reason that I want to turn it over to Mr. Thomas is because he's a practitioner himself, and I
He
get the
seems
general
most
impression-
honorable, so
I get the general impression that he doesn't want to use it as a weapon. He just wants to basically experiment with the thing. His interest in it is purely academic.
yeah, I think of all the
He's a
people
freaking
that would be
Egyptian
interested
mummy.
in it.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to the guy.
I said I had no problem with turning it over to him, but
Yeah, I just didn't want to turn it over to Blanchard.
no.
These last longer than that.
Hey, how's Beth doing? How's she like her new job? I guess it's not new anymore.
Oh, her massage therapy job? Yeah, she's doing great at it.
That's
The
awesome.
boss is insane, but they all are. But she doesn't have to deal with them that often, and she's making a lot of money at it, so
Woohoo! That's great.
Yeah.
Extend our wishes of happiness for her.
I will do so.
Do we need a break? It's halfway through.
Oh, okay.
Got like an hour and a half worth of stuff to do. If you want to take a break, do you? Anybody?
Sure, yeah,
Anybody?
I need to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting a drink.
I will take
Okay.
5.
Yeah.
Gonna break for 5. And we are recording again. We're back. Yay! Want to point out something Johnny Diamond talked about, the moniker of the Egyptian. That Johnny Diamond, with all his contacts, this is the first time you've actually seen him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is not public knowledge that the Egyptian is literally a mummy. That, as far as he had been concerned up to this point, unless Doc Celyddon said something to him before, but we'll just gloss over that. As far as Giant Diamond had been concerned up to this point, the Egyptian was just an Egyptian. So he was a gangster, and he's reclusive, and he's apparently there's the rumor is he's a magician of some kind, and that's really all Johnny Diamond knew. That you don't mess with him, because people who mess with him, bad things happen to. But other than that, he's not like an active gangster. Like, he doesn't have like constant schemes going on. He's not trying to take over the waterfront, any of that shit. It's just that once in a while, somebody on behalf of the Egyptian will want something, and people who get in the way of that, bad things happen to. Like, they go home and beetles come out of their sink and eat them. Things like that.
Yeah, the old scarab eating you alive type deal. Okay.
That kind of thing. But this is the first Johnny Diamond has any inkling, I'm going to say, of the Egyptian being an actual, like, leather covering a skeleton mummy.
Beef jerky mannequin. Yeah.
Beef jerky mannequin, yeah. So that's kind of weird. All things considered, I think Johnny Diamond handled himself admirably. I should have had you guys make presence rolls to...
Downstairs as we're walking back downstairs into the bar, I'll mention to the two of them, well, now you can understand my desire to make sure that we don't get on this guy's wrong side.
No. From what I understand, no.
Hey, Leslie, pull your mic up just a little bit more.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, fantastic. Because you were, like, really quiet. I mean, I could hear you, but you were really quiet. Oh, here's something. Leslie, this is pretty much everything that Leslie knows about the Egyptian, is what Doc Celyddon has said and this meeting. Doc Celyddon, pretty much everything you know are the meetings you've had.
Yeah.
Johnny Diamond, all he knows firsthand is this meeting. But Johnny Diamond has contacts. And Johnny Diamond has... How long you been in Camargue?
Oh, a while.
Okay. A while's worth
Several
years worth apocryphal stories of, just from time to time, somebody crossing the Egyptian and being eaten by beetles, or or walking down an alley and jackals appear and rip them literally limb from limb. So Johnny Diamond's preconceptions coming into this meeting are probably a little bit different than Doc Celyddon's or Leslie's were. The reality, I don't know how that messes with what you expected, but I would say confidently that what you were expecting was something very, very scary. So
I was expecting another gangster, but hey.
Yeah, no, I was expecting a really scary gangster. What I found was a really polite, scary guy.
Yeah, I guess that sums it up.
Okay. So it's, 1:30.
Really polite,
let's say.
Scary guy.
And,
he's a beef jerky golem.
Oh, that's
Yeah, okay.
dangerously close to disrespectful.
That should not be said out loud. He might hear you.
Anyway, do you guys do anything during the afternoon other than take care of your personal business?
No, I wanted to get in touch with Carole. Actually, if she's at her office, I can just phone her.
Carole, office manager person. We're going to call her, what's like a stereotypical... Sophie. Sophie, click, clitter, clatter on her high heels, comes over to Carole and says...
I thought that was toenails. I'm sorry, my parents have a golden retriever.
Ew! Yuck! No!
My parents have a platinum blonde golden retriever named Sophie, and so
So it's not Sophie. It's not Sophie.
Turns into a dog to scare
It's literally anything other than Sophie. Hang on. Because I will not accept this in my head for the rest of the night.
No, not
Zoe.
Zoe.
That's their other golden retriever right now.
Thank you. I won't use that either. Isabel?
Sure.
What?
I said nobody has a dog named Isabel.
Thank God. Okay, Isabel.
well,
Office
next
manager
time you
Isabel. Clitter clatters on her high heels to Carol's desk and says, Mademoiselle Desjardins, there's a telephone call for you.
Thank you.
I will route it to your desk.
Yes, please.
She clitter clatters back to her desk. She pushes some buttons, and your phone on your desk goes bling bling, because it's like some kind of weird, complicated phone system thing.
And those buttons are really thick, and they go click.
Clack.
When you,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's an audible clack when you push the buttons on the intercom dealie. So yeah, there you go. Big ass bakelite phone.
Anyway, Carol, I'll identify myself and essentially tell her that if she could do me a favor and look up everything that she can on a certain member of the milieu known as the Egyptian, I'd certainly appreciate the information.
Certainly. Okay.
It's right up your alley. So.
Ah. Yes. All right. I will do so, and I will see you later tonight, I guess.
Yeah, I'll pay for. I'll buy your dinner.
Sounds good. See you then.
Okay, and then
Wow.
I'll find out whatever Johnny Diamond knows about the Egyptian too, because it occurs to me that I haven't done any research on the guy, other than the fact that he's a practitioner and an animated mummy. I don't know a whole lot about.
Big
All
boss.
right.
Big boss. Yeah, that boss, no, bigger than him.
Another Godfather.
There's literally like 4 guys in the northwest of France at that level. One
Yeah, and
owns the horse track down the road. Monsieur Thomas is another one.
Okay.
Monsieur Thomas is probably the more influential of the bunch.
Well, I can understand that he's probably got an edge on a lot of the other higher up bosses just by virtue of what he is and what he can do.
Yeah.
Just stay off my desk, Penny.
Let me know when you two are done, and I'll do stuff with Carol.
Okay, yeah, by all means, switch to her. I was just finding out information about Thomas.
Okay, Carol, what you doing?
All right. Did he tell me the name is Thomas, but it's not just the Egyptian?
I assume so.
Okay. All right. Look it up during break-in things.
Yeah, you basically set your own schedule. So yeah, you go down the hallway to the walls of and they've got this weird kind of rotatey thing, like where one will go back and another one come forward so you can get to it.
Mm-hmm.
Filing cabinets, and you flip through, and the Egyptian, and you find that, and it says cross-reference to Thomas, surname unknown, and so you go, you turn a little crank, and the walls of filing cabinets move and shuffle, and you get to the T's, and you look up Thomas, surname unknown. Okay, and you pull that out, and it's literally 2 pages, and one is blank, and the other one says information about this individual, and literally as you're reading it, the words start disappearing as you read them. Information about this individual is erased as soon as it is read, and then the page you're holding is blank.
Well, isn't that spiffy?
So you're
Penny,
holding a piece of...
what you've done to
What
the
is your
camera.
deal, Leslie?
The cat has been moving all over the place and knocking everything down.
Well, yeah, cat.
Cat, yeah.
Fair enough. So yeah, Carol's standing there holding a piece of blank typing paper.
She's holding two blank typing paper.
Probably they have it written a bazillion times, and now I've got to go retype that or get it retyped.
That's what you do.
All right. That was it. Okay, back to whatever I was doing.
Okay. The day
I don't know
passes,
what's
I
going
guess.
on.
Do you have someone type up those with the words you remember reading, and then you go put it back, or you just shrug and let it go?
Oh no, I'm gonna get that I was like, okay, yeah, let's retype that a couple of times on several pages and put that in there.
You have Isabel, the office assistant, type that sentence up and put it into this file, and I guess warn her not to read it after she's typed it. Don't proofread. Just type it and put it in the file and walk away. Just walk away.
And I'm sure I have made certain requests like this before, so she doesn't even blink.
Afternoon passes. Now what?
All right.
That afternoon, a courier comes in a bellhop uniform looking type outfit, and he has a envelope with a wax seal for Mademoiselle Carole Desjardins. And somebody downstairs sends him upstairs, and somebody upstairs sends him to you, and he goes up to your desk and he says, Mademoiselle Desjardins, and he's holding up an envelope.
Oui.
Boom! And he says, this is for you. And he hands it to you.
Merci.
And he does that hand pop mouth thing that I've only seen people do. I can't do it myself. And and he goes away.
Oh.
And that's it.
Okay. Ooh, fancy.
It's the wax seal is a big calligraphy M.
I'm sure I have a letter opener.
I'm sure you do. It is 6 tickets to the Cirque de la Piste.
Wow.
On January 11th. Today is the 8th.
There we go. As promised. Wow. Fancy.
Section A1, it says.
8 or
Nice.
6 tickets? Wanted to make sure, I guess everybody was covered.
Well, everybody and their dates. I don't know. All right, cool.
Anyway, the afternoon passes.
Yes.
Everybody gets off work, and Johnny Diamond's work actually starts.
Wait, I work? When did that happen?
You have people who work for you. That's what that's about.
I thought you were just really good at faking it. Anyway, once Carole gets there, let her know what's been going on with Mr. Actually, it's Thomas, isn't it? Because it's PTAH, which is Ta. And,
Yeah, his actual name in the hieroglyph is Thomas, P-T-A-H-M-O-S-E. But when people say it, they say it Thomas.
Right.
Or Tomas is how people actually say it.
All right, cool. But yeah, let her know what's been going on with him and find out from her that apparently her organization intentionally has no information about him.
Well, I'm sure if we did, we'd have to have somebody memorize it to rewrite it every single time someone else read it.
I'm just curious as to who put that particular spell on his file.
Probably so.
That's not normal.
No.
Carole, that's not normal. That is something that guy, the subject of the file has done something to make it very hard to record things about him.
And clearly it's known, but they can't fix it, so they wrote that line in his file.
So that when it's like this page intentionally left blank, except the intent is not theirs, it's his.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he clearly has good enough magic that they can't fix it to keep a file on him.
Okay, well, I find myself rather glad that I acted in the manner in which I did when I was dealing with him.
We haven't made an enemy of him, and that's good, right?
That's a plus. I don't particularly want to die by suffering a plague of boils or something like that.
Carole,
Plague of Boils, that's another one.
Yeah. Carole, one of the things we have found out is that the device we're looking for wasn't meant to be a weapon. So it's not a death ray.
Well, neither was the last one, so
Yeah.
meant to drive people insane, but or
Well, the
That's
last
true.
one kind of was meant to be a weapon, but in a different sort of way.
yeah.
Well, Leslie, the best way you could probably put it to these people was it was
Yeah.
to compel fealty, is what that was
Yeah.
for. But it's like a whole throne that does that, and this a chunk of it was just
And
you know.
apparently this device is just meant to open the doorways to other worlds for those who can't do it naturally.
Hmm.
All right. Well, we know what to do with it once we get it anyway. Sort of. We know who to give it to once we get it anyway. What to do with it is kind of problematic because apparently it's very difficult to turn off,
Mm.
and its effects are, as we've seen, kind of gross.
Yeah.
Because it's not working properly, apparently.
Are you supposed to retrieve it for him, or?
Oh yes, yeah. He wants it himself. I get the impression that he doesn't intend to use it as a weapon. It's just something he wants to experiment with.
He might be able to fix it. Who knows?
I'd rather give it to him than Blanchard, anyway.
Indeed.
All right, so
Oh, come
we
on.
need to go back to the house where the car was parked and see if we can find out if there's anything clue-wise in there to get us any closer to this thing.
Around the time you're coming to this decision, over drinks, I assume,
Yes.
this fella walks into the Cafe Azure American, and you recognize him.
Right.
He's Yves, the, we'll say, right-hand man of Bernadette Blanchard. And he walks in, and he looks around, and he spots one of you at a table, or all of you at a table, and he walks over to you.
Good evening.
Bonsoir. So, Mademoiselle. What are the Miss versus Mrs. in French? I'm drawing a blank.
It's Mademoiselle, I think, for Miss.
Mademoiselle?
Mademoiselle is
Madame
Miss.
is married or older.
Madame is married, yes.
Okay.
Madame.
Mademoiselle, the younger version of that. Mademoiselle Blanchard said I should come and help you. She said I should tell you that my home has been broken into and ransacked, and that if you want to examine it for clues, that you should do so.
Oh, we should probably do that then.
I appreciate the information. And if you would tell her that I was successfully assassinated last night by a sniper's bullet.
Oh, you have my
would appreciate
condolences
that.
for your death.
I wasn't assassinated. I was merely shot.
Huh?
But,
So-
all right.
Wait, so I should tell her that you have been dead? You are dead?
Well,
Is this a
It was
ruse? Is it a ruse? You know, if this is to be a ruse, actually having a drink in your club is a poor way to convey it.
oh, no. I don't mean to suggest that I'm dead, simply that an assassin's bullet hit its mark last night.
Oh, okay.
It was an attempt at assassination.
Anyway, let's go to another apartment.
Oh, dear Carol, you make it sound so lowbrow.
Well, let's get
That was
together.
a
and
rather
go and search-
large. There was a rather large piece of projectile lodged in my spine.
I still have it. Well, let's go search for clues.
Oh.
Sounds like a good
Oh,
plan.
by the way,
I don't mean to interrupt. I am at your pleasure.
No, by all means, anything that'll move this forward, that's a good thing. So let's
Yeah.
go see what we can find.
All right.
Okay,
I have a car. Do you have a car? It would be quite tight with the
Yes.
5 of us, but we can do it.
The late Mr. Diamond can drive.
Well, I have to drive. It's my car, but
But
you
like
you,
Mr.
you can
Diamond
follow me.
Drive his own car.
I have the blue and white Citroën. I know. I should buy something. sentimental value. So you are out back. I wait for you out front.
Sure.
Okay. He goes. He gets in his car. Anybody who wants to ride with him can. And if nobody does, he waits for Johnny Diamond to show up, and then you follow him to his house. It's a really nice house. It's part of it's a row house, but it's like three of them put together into one. It's really quite nice. Anyway, he parks somewhere and he waits for you guys, and you guys get out. All of the windows are broken on the second floor. And he points that out to you. He says, all of the windows are broken on the second floor. Bullets. I think from over there. And he points at the other building across there. I think they shot there many times.
That might be our sniper again.
Oh, you have a sniper? Why would you be shooting at me? I don't understand.
Oh, no. That was the gentleman who shot at Johnny.
Oh, your sniper's the sniper who shot at you. Ah, I see. Okay. No, that makes sense. He goes in, unlocks the door. There's like a waiter or manservant of some kind, Jean. And it's an old black dude. And he tells Jean, oh, we have 4 guests. Sherry okay? Everyone? No? Yes? No? Anyone wants something else? Tea? Coffee? Okay, so 3 sherry, 1 coffee? Okay. John wanders off. Anyway, he takes you upstairs. The windows are all broken. The walls opposite the windows are Swiss cheese from bullets. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of bullet holes in the wall opposite the windows.
Bullets in those bullet holes.
Dozens and dozens and dozens.
Well, we don't have ballistics the same as they do in our century, but I might just dig one of those bullets out and see if it's anything like the one.
Well, you can see what kind of bullet it is. It's a 7.62 millimeter.
Mm-hmm.
You think it came from? I think the term nowadays is automatic rifle, I think. It's like not a full-on machine gun.
The Thompsons are 45s.
Yeah, it's not a full-on machine gun. It's more of a assault rifle.
Assault rifle. Actually, in this day and age, if it's 7.62, it would be a battle rifle.
Battle rifle. Okay.
Yeah, we're talking something in the Sturmgewehr, early Kalashnikov, something in that range.
Something like that, yes. So, whatever it is, it's automatic. Like you hold down the trigger and it just keeps firing, but it's not a full machine gun round. It's more of a smaller round,
more like a round.
Just a little bit bigger than a pistol round would be. But
if you set the gun down, does it go off? Because then it's definitely a brand.
We'll say no. Just for the sake of argument, we'll say no. Anyway.
It definitely isn't the same sniper.
So, the important part of this is that the gun that fired this is not something that it takes the entire front seat of a car to carry. It is something a human being could carry. Or potentially hide under a very long winter coat. Theoretically.
Okay. See if I can track where the bullets came from.
But you got lots of them.
Yeah.
Wait, do you mean like where the gun is now, or just where they were fired from?
No, where they were fired from.
That's very, very clear. I mean, any rudimentary investigation type ability or science, if you've got math or physics as a background, kind of a thing.
I am science.
Yeah, well, there you go. If the word triangulation is in your vocabulary, you can figure it out. It's the rooftop right there. It would have to be. I mean, that's the only place it could be. Across the street.
I will want to go visit that place.
Okay.
As I have investigation, I have expertise in index.
Finally, you've got somebody on hand with investigation. Yeah.
Actually, I've got investigation. I just got an expertise in it.
Ah. Well, Carole pops out some bullets, and Leslie pops out. Everybody's popping out bullets and comparing them. Well, yeah, they all appear to be all from the same rifle, or at least the same caliber.
Probably need a magnet.
But realistically, I mean, if you got this many bullets, and they're all the same, it's probably one weapon. So.
With several magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Eve, because you get some bullets and you're drawing lines in the air and you're like, yeah, over there, and your guy's ready to go. He's like, do you not want to know what happened? No? Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Yes,
We do.
please.
Eventually, yes.
All right.
Okay. So
Why don't
was
you
that?
let me? Why don't you let me get what happened from him, and you guys continue what you're doing?
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. We'll
Okay,
be
you guys
right
hustle off to the other building to the roof.
And I'll
Meanwhile-
I'll listen to Eve's story and write
Oh.
it down.
I was here. I was having a brandy, and all of a sudden, gunfire and glass shattering. I hid behind the desk. He points at a desk. It's like a big, heavy wood desk with like carved, gnarly curlicues and big clawed feet, and it's the whole thing's probably like 300 kilos. So he hid behind that. The bullets kept coming through the window, kept hitting this, hitting the desk, and you see the desk is ruined. It's covered with bullet holes.
Yeah.
And so there was a pause, which I later realized was probably the reloading. Yes? So the next pause, I ran to the door and down the stairs, and there was more firing and more guns, and then it was quiet. I ran out the front. I tried to see where the bullets were coming from. I did not see anyone else. No more bullets were firing. I lived.
It's a good thing that no more bullets were firing, or you might not have lived.
Ah, you're not there to say that. You're going across the street.
Yeah. What time approximately? did this happen?
Or are you? Are you here with Leslie? Are you with Doc Celyddon and Carole?
Well, let's not split the party too bad. I'll stay with Leslie.
Fair enough. So you can say that. And he goes, oh, good point. But if there had been more bullets, I would not have run outside. So you see how this goes. Meanwhile.
What time did this happen about?
So this is, well, we'll call this like 6 in the evening on the 8th. Your tickets for the Cirque de la Piste are the 11th. This is the 8th. This is around 6 in the evening now. What he's describing to you happened about 2 hours ago, so around 4 in the evening.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. So it was very recent.
It's very recent, yes. He basically
Already out
did
with
that,
daylight.
reported to his boss, and his boss, Blanchard, said to come talk to you. So that's basically what his timeline has been this evening.
All right. Well, we'll go up on the roof and see what's there.
Meanwhile, Carole and Doc Celyddon go to the roof and do investigation rolls with your reason. 2d6. If you've got expertise, add 1. Versus...
I rolled a 10.
I rolled an 18.
Oh, good heavens. Okay. You needed a 10 to just make it. Doc
I
Celyddon...
think there was some kind of shooting going on.
Doc Celyddon finds... God bless America. There must be over 100 7.62 caliber shells on this roof.
They don't believe it.
Just
Clean it up.
100 of them just laying here. And but Doc Celyddon with a 10 sees the minimum, which was there are also about 15 cigarette butts on the roof.
Okay, so he was waiting for a while.
Yes. Whoever was here was waiting for a while. Carole, with her 18, picks up one of the cigarette butts and is like looking at it. This is no normal cigarette butt.
You know, I was just going to ask if it was like a crappy Gitana or Galois or some ghastly French cigarette.
It is not a... Well, Doc Celyddon doesn't think of it, but
I don't.
Carole does. Carole looks at the cigarette and realizes this is not a French cigarette, not even like a cheap, imported, low-budget cigarette that like poor people smoke. This is a Turkish cigarette. There's only like half dozen shops in this end of Camaret Smer that you could even get this from. Like you're like, oh yeah. Because there's a guy in your office who smokes these. Like he got hooked on them back during the Ottoman War, and that's all he smokes now. So you recognize it. He's old.
Yeah. All right. Turkish. All right. And
Do any tobacco stores sell Turkish cigarettes?
just a handful.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I know somebody in the office. He's obviously not the killer, but I mean the guy who did. But,
Yes, the guy you work with. It must be him.
But he got hooked on them in the Ottoman War. So.
I wasn't even aware that they were imported into the empire. Interesting.
Oh,
He's actually there was an armistice. You're not technically at war anymore.
Right.
Yeah, like trade and stuff.
You don't.
I was just under the impression that there wasn't a whole lot of back and forth going on between the Turkish Empire and
There's not.
the European Empire.
Which is why Carol's office mate worker, like another VP of something or other, why he complains from time to time about how hard it is to get his brand of cigarettes, because like this other shop stopped carrying them because only him and one other guy would order them. Now he's got to drive all the way to Tobruk Sumer to buy his cigarettes, which is ridiculous.
I've got a question for you because I've been wanting to ask this for some time because references are being made. Christianity, does it exist?
Yes, absolutely. The
Does
Gallican
it?
Catholic Church is the
It's a
official
Catholic
religion
church.
of the empire.
Okay, I just wasn't sure.
They permit other religions as long as they, well, basically as long as they don't cause a problem for the Gallican Catholic Church, you are permitted to exist. You're not oppressed. You can practice your religion. There are Jews, there are Muslims, there are Buddhists. But if your
Pagans?
church comes out as like saying that the Gallican Catholic Church is the tool of Satan or something, then you will find your building annexed by the Empire and your priests are arrested for sedition. So,
Okay. Just curious.
And they think you don't have a soul.
oh yes, and you don't have a soul.
Probably I don't. Who knows?
And therefore, a certain number of the things that are forbidden to do to normal people, like rights that they have, you don't have because you don't have a soul.
I probably don't. Who knows?
It's all right. Some of my favorite coworkers don't have them either. Or if they do, they keep them in little boxes. All right, so
So,
thoroughly odd. They used a battle rifle to pull a spray job on a middle.
someone stole their sniper rifle. Not saying who, just saying. You think this thing's growing trees? No.
So I guess we could figure this is the same assassin.
I can't wait until like 3-4 game sessions from now when they're out there with a little 22.
Shoot it with a slingshot.
Pew pew pew.
You're gonna have to start keeping these guns in your place. I haven't got any room anymore.
Dude, sell them. They gotta be worth a pretty penny.
Brandon,
Yes.
I will think of this. I'm not sure if my character will think of this, but check the head stamps on the shell casings to see if they match, if they're similar to one another or the same as one another. And if
Well,
they're
if you don't,
possibly-
Carol with her 18. If you don't, Carol will. Yeah. So you're like, Celyddon's like looking at one and it's like, these look the same. Because, he's not a, whatever. And Carol's
pulling
like,
out a little like thing and going.
so she says, hey, hang on a minute. And she like looks at the stamps and the rounds. And yeah, they're basically all, well, you don't look at, there you go.
Yeah.
She'll, wait, hang on. You don't look at literally the 100 or more of the casings, but you look at a good couple of dozen. And yeah, they're all the same.
military or civilian?
We will say military.
Interesting.
Let's see. What would make sense? We're in France. Give me a moment. I gotta look at a map.
Okay. Just from a by the way point of view, a civilian head stamp will normally have the manufacturer's name on it, like Remington or CCI or something like that, along with the caliber. Military head stamps normally only have like a alphanumerical designation on them. Like Springfield Armory would have a certain designation, and then they usually just have the year date on them to indicate that they were manufactured at in a certain year.
Okay, they're military, and you don't really know what the code means.
Nope, you'd have to look that one up.
But you have it. And they're all
Well,
the same, so you just take one and you can go look it up later. Carole has the means to look that sort of stuff up. Or
Yepers.
not directly, but you can send a memo to somebody who can look it up, and they will send you a memo back the next day or the day after.
There's somebody in one of those monolithic office buildings that she works in that has a rack of books that all have really boring titles on them, like military head stamps, 1965 to 1975. And he'll have to pour through them for about 2 hours until he can find the right one. But yeah, he'll find it.
Yeah, but at her level of the bureaucracy, her memo goes to the top. So there are people above Carole who ask that sort of question, but not many. So
Oh yeah, that's a fact. The book would probably look something like that.
Well, all right then.
This one's Small Arms Identification and Operation Guide, Eurasian Communist Countries.
Carole, I assume, makes a note to go send that memo later today.
Yep.
So, all right. So you guys are on the roof across the street. You've found everything you can find there.
Okay. Go back and talk to Yves and see if he's got any more information on what happened, whether it was more than one guy, if you saw anybody, anything like that.
Yves is making small talk with Johnny Diamond and Leslie. What are you guys chatting about, Leslie? Since Johnny Diamond is... Oh, wait, no, there he is. He's like...
Yeah,
are you doing okay, Donald? What's your deal? You all right?
I am exhausted.
I know the feeling, man. And it's only Tuesday.
I have been moving heavy boxes since 8 o'clock Saturday morning.
I
Zowie.
haven't been doing that. I'm just naturally a lazy person.
And his computer is next to his bed, so yeah.
And my computer is right next to my bed.
So what are Johnny
So it
Diamond
makes
and
it
Leslie
really
chatting with
easy to
Yves
flop
about?
over.
Well, this is more
I'm
your
asking him like the particulars, like what of your men? What of your protection? Didn't they see anything?
Yeah, this.
I don't need protection. No. People who don't know me.
You might have said that truthfully yesterday.
No.
But the evidence argues against it.
No. People who do not know me have no reason to attack me. People who know me know not to attack me.
I look around at all the bullet holes.
Well,
forgive my incredulity.
This is a unusual circumstance.
Obviously not professional.
Actually, a good question to ask is, other than your employer, do you know if any other members of the what is the name of the whole gangster group again?
His group is the Pied Noir.
But
The
whole thing's
overall
under you.
organized crime ecosystem is the Milieu.
Milieu, do you know of anybody else in the Milieu who might be interested in this interesting device?
If they knew about it, everyone.
So
But
any
I
one
don't
of
think they
them
would
could
know.
Any one of them could be responsible for this attack.
No. We kept that very quiet. In fact, of the people who are living now, who would know? No, this is a good question. It's a good
Because,
question.
well, If it's the same attackers that attacked Johnny, or attacked Dr. Celyddon.
No. Let me think a moment. And while he's thinking a moment is when Dr. Celyddon and Carole come back, and he's like, let me think. Okay, so here's who would know. Not just that something was to be handed off, but maybe a hint what that was. So we have my boss, me, the two drivers of the military truck, because they were just knocked unconscious and dropped off. So if they knew, they would know. Yes? Okay. Whoever attacked us, don't know who that is. One person, 5 people. So they would know. And maybe whoever sent the truck. Oh no, the man who sent the truck, he's dead now. Well, he may have told someone, so anyone he told would know. So that is anywhere from 5 to 10 people.
But they're all within your group.
No. There's the man who sent the truck from the Director General of Armaments. If he had an assistant or something who knew. So that's not our group, no? Whoever attacked us, not our group, no?
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's you. Your people. Although why you would shoot at me, I don't know. I don't think you would shoot at me. You don't seem like that would be your thing to do.
Not really our style.
No, we would have no reason to. Or would we?
Well, no, but if you wanted to get rid of me, you have other ways. You were in my home.
No.
You could kill me now if you really wanted to.
Nah.
Long since.
When we get back, I'll ask him a couple of questions that have occurred to me.
Go ahead. You're there. You heard all of that. So go ahead.
Okay. Did you see anybody doing the shooting?
No, I'm sorry. No.
So,
I'm not even sure where the bullets came from. I think over there, but...
we found out where.
Yeah.
But you don't know if it was one person or more than one person.
I don't know. No, I was mostly interested in not being killed.
About how long did it take from the first shots to the last?
It was... it seems like a long time when it is happening, but probably a minute, maybe?
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, from what we can tell, it was probably a single shooter who was just spraying the area with a battle rifle.
I see. Well, you are welcome to look around and gather what clues you can gather.
We'll look around and see if there's anything else to gather.
There's really not.
No.
Anyone else have any questions about this place and time?
Not that I can think of right now.
It's around 6:30, 7 o'clock on the 8th.
Well, okay, but now here's something that I want to think about before I ask a question. About what time was Doc Celyddon shot at, and about what time was John? I know what time Johnny was shot at.
Yeah, Johnny was shot at in dark 30 in the morning. Doc Celyddon was shot at in the evening, right? It was like 7, 8 o'clock?
Early
So
evening.
Early evening, so it's still light out, so maybe 4 or 5.
How much time has passed between each one?
Couple hours.
10 hours, give or take?
Yeah, it's been about 24 hours since I was shot at. So.
Yeah, so 10, 12 hours.
10 to
between-
12, sure.
I mean, it's been longer than, it's been, 14, 16 for me, so since I was shot, because I was shot around 4, and
Right.
it's 7.
Right.
And so but about 10, 12 hours between,
All right.
give or take 3 hours.
What are your thoughts, Leslie?
Trying to think about how much time between the first attempted shooting and our getting started on this widget hunt.
Oh, like right away.
Okay.
Like the first place that Doc Celyddon went to check out, he got shot.
I got shot at, yeah. So you're talking probably an hour between the time we were actually told to do the job.
But I don't think it's an inside. Definitely not. Well, could be an inside job.
I don't see anybody
because
casing
I
out
don't.
that.
I don't see how it could be. I don't think it's related to what we're doing, to tell you the truth, because too little time passed for them to find out that we were up to something. That's what I'm thinking.
Either that or it is an inside job. And
It is an inside job, yeah.
Make who has investigation as a skill? Is it just Doc Celyddon
I think.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody who's got investigation as a skill, roll that with your reason. If you've got expertise, add a die. And I've got a number for you to roll against. That number is 11.
Well,
22.
I rolled a 12, but I was going to say, whatever I rolled, it's not nearly as high as whatever Kieran rolled.
Yeah, I rolled really low, so I rolled an 11.
I rolled a 22.
brag.
I got a 6 and 2 5s.
Okay. Carole. Sorry, previous character. Carole. Nobody else thinks of this. Only Carole. They're talking about this happened literally like an hour after we were hired by Blanchard to look into this. And then Carole thinks, wait a minute, we all visited Blanchard 2 days before that.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Blanchard was already involved in this 2 days before that. So maybe whoever is shooting at you was already keeping an eye on Blanchard.
That's a possibility.
And of course, he's already connected to Blanchard.
Quite likely.
He works for her. So, yeah. I'll bring that up.
Ask Eve if anybody has made any direct attack against Blanchard yet.
Eve starts to answer and then gets really quiet, like he's thinking. Everyone make perception rolls with your reason. It's a skill. Perception's a skill
I have
based on
perception.
reason.
Oh my
You have-
goodness. Instead of a 2 and a 3, I rolled a 3 and a 2.
So I can
Okay,
only roll
11
two
again.
dice because I can only roll 2 dice because I don't have perception, right?
If you don't have perception, then it's 2 dice.
Okay, I rolled 8.
As it happens, I rolled stupidly low. So
Okay.
you're rolling against 7. If you get a total of 7 or more, you win.
Yeah, I think we all got that.
21.
I
21.
am confused.
I got 2 6s this time.
Wow. Okay, did anybody not get 7?
That'd be me.
What'd you get, Lloyd?
6.
Okay, Doc Celyddon is oblivious. I just find it really funny because you blow your thaumaturgy rolls out of the water,
Yep.
but like normal world stuff, you're just like dooby doo.
Kind of one trick pony. It's a really good trick, but
Oh my gosh! All right, so Doc Celyddon didn't notice anything.
Nope.
Leslie and Johnny Diamond, you guys notice Eve gets like it's more than just he's thinking about something. He like notices something and freezes. He's just standing. He's holding his breath. He's not moving at all. Like wherever his hand was, like statue.
Liturgically frozen.
No. It's he hasn't been frozen. He is standing very, very. His eyes are moving. You know, he's awake. He knows what's going on. He's deliberately not moving. Carole notices that. Plus, the colors in the room change just slightly. Like the blues become more red, and the yellows become more blue. And then things that are shiny become like dull, and things that are dull become like
We
shiny.
better get out of here now.
No, you
I
don't
would-
notice this. Only
I do
Carole
not
notices this. Um,
Something bad's happening here.
Like what?
Are colors supposed to change? And the whole room just got really off. Like shiny got dull, dull got shiny.
I think our little device is being activated somewhere.
about that time, there's a scream from the next room.
Got a question for you. Since fairy is not one of the dimensions that seems to be involved in this dimensional
Actually,
swisher.
it's not. Nobody else. Well, Doc Celyddon might, but nobody else really has a reason to know this, and you don't have the experience with it yet. But it will eventually become obvious to you because it's happening right now. No, the Shadowland, which is the fairy plane, if you want to call it that. No, it is not affected. It goes the other direction. It goes, for lack of a
But
better word,
either
it goes up
way-
instead of down.
I knew there wasn't anything fairy in those remains.
There was not.
How many people can I take into the Shadowlands with me? Can I take everybody here? Because I think that's the only thing we have.
Potentially, yeah, you could. You might fail at the attempt, but you could try.
I don't think
I
we
have
save here.
team player. Can I spend a plot point to help it happen?
Yeah, we need to get out of here now.
You can.
Okay, we need to get out of here now.
However,
The deuce you say? I want to find out what's going on.
back to things that are going on, because you don't have a reason to do that yet.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Because Leslie doesn't actually know any of this yet, nor does Johnny Diamond. So at this moment, all you know is Eve
bad's
is standing oddly still. Carole knows something odd's going on, and she tells you guys stuff. And then as she's talking, there's a scream from the next room. Sounds like an older man.
I'll step into the next room.
You don't have the time because he runs in and slams the door open, and he's screaming, "Ah! Don't let them eat me! Don't let them eat!" And his right sleeve is like flapping; it's empty. And as he says, "Don't let them eat," he disappears, and his clothes fall to the
We
ground.
need to be out of here now. We definitely need to get out of here now. That's a good reason to want to get out of here now.
Turn to everybody else and say, you guys should probably wait here. And drop my gun and go into the room.
Okay, so one at a time. Since Carole's the one who has the most awareness of what's going on, Carole, what do you want to do?
That looked dangerous.
Well, he's gone, so yeah.
He's gone.
That was Jean.
Nothing.
Jean is gone.
John is gone. Well, John wasn't the one in the dangerous one. He was the one in danger.
Yes.
Can't help him. Yeah. Yeah, I can't do anything. That looks magic. So yeah, we need to get away from that.
Dr. Celyddon, we need to get out of here now.
Yes,
What does Leslie want to do?
I can get us out of here now.
Yeah, you should probably get them out of here then.
You need to come with us too because you don't want to have happen to you what happened to those bodies at the morgue.
Oh no, not at all. That's horrible.
Let's
But
go.
I still
I'll
have to
go.
know what's going on in there.
No, you don't. Let's go.
Yeah. See. Oh yeah. You're gonna tell the curious cat not to go open the door.
An exceedingly cool magical thing has just happened. I have to go find out what it is.
You don't need to
Don't
find
worry.
out what it is because we don't want to find your bodies someplace.
All right,
We
I'm
really
getting
don't.
really close. I'm going to stand next to Leslie, so it's
Let's
easier.
go. Somebody
Oh.
grab him.
All right.
Somebody
Here's the
grab
problem.
him.
All right. I've given you the wrong impression.
Uh-huh.
Leslie,
Yeah.
you can go from this world to the next one, to the fairy realm, right? But it is theoretically possible if you are really, 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 really good at magic, which you're not. You're just okay at it.
Okay. All right.
For people like you have to go to a specific place to do it. Like the park. Remember that park that had like a weak
yeah,
spot?
Okay.
So it's not something you can just do in a living room in somebody else's house.
Okay.
So
We basically have to run.
If you want to rewind a little bit, because
All right.
realistically, there's no way you could do it from here,
All right.
And you would know that.
and you
I
would
would
know
know,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But we still need to get out of here now. And
Well-
Dr.
No,
Celyddon,
no.
you-
By get out of here, you could well mean be across the street. You can totally do that.
Then let's get out of here. I'll do that. In other words, I can teleport.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and I can take people with me.
Yes, you can. You get like one penalty die, but you can totally do it.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get out
Well,
of
you might
here.
have to
Let's
do
grab
it more
everybody.
than once. There's 4 of us here.
No, with one penalty
die.
die, she can do all of you guys.
Oh, okay.
Or
And
he
if-
can
if,
do all of you guys.
And if Johnny Diamond blows his luck point or whatever it is, we can definitely do it.
You get an
But
extra
I don't know
die,
about
so
that.
you're even.
Okay. So
If
somebody
I-
grab Dr. Celyddon, please.
Well, if there's enough time, I say let him look.
Okay.
Here's the deal, Doc Celyddon.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Because you can basically choose to go or not. If you don't choose to go, you can just not go, and when she goes, she just won't take you.
Right. That is my intention. I choose not to
Okay.
go.
So whether you want to take Doc Celyddon with you or not,
He's not
when you
gonna-
get there,
Okay. He's not gonna
we will
do
find.
this.
Okay, roll some dice, and so wait. So you have a penalty for the group, but you have a bonus for Johnny Diamond's teamwork, right? So those balance out. So you get 2 dice, and
Plus my power and reason, right?
plus your reason plus power. That is correct.
Uh-huh.
And I will roll and tell you what you need.
I rolled pretty good.
You need to roll pretty good.
I rolled an 18 total.
I'm so happy for you. You need to roll a 14 or more, and you did. So Leslie reaches out, grabs a couple of people, and there's like a and they're
And
gone.
we'll take Mr. Yves with us too.
Aren't you nice? So
I have nothing against him.
he's actually a pretty
So-
decent guy for a gangster.
Yeah.
So for him, he's not a sadist. For him, it's just a job. He's been doing it since he was like 10. So for
He
him,
had
it's
nothing
just
against him.
it's just a job. I mean, yeah, he will shoot you in the kneecap, but it's not because he wants to. It's just his job.
It's not
So-
like he does it for fun.
No. For fun, he listens to music and reads books. So there's like a and they're gone. Doc Celyddon is alone.
Grab my gun, charge in.
You charge into the next room, and it's just a room just like the room you came out of. It's this room is let's see, that was like a sitting room. This would be more like a dining room. Yes, big long table, some art on the walls. There's on the big long table, there's a silver platter with a glass pitcher with several glasses of ice that don't have water in them, just ice.
Okay. Any doors leading out? Where
Yes,
John-
several.
we have room?
Well, one goes to the hallway, one goes to the kitchen.
Check the kitchen.
It's a kitchen. Let's see. We're going to attack you, I think.
I'm wondering if we can see where the guy is with the device from where we are.
Roll.
When we
Hang on.
arrive.
Let me finish
Yeah.
with Doc Celyddon for just a moment.
Yeah.
Doc Celyddon, you are being attacked, and you don't see where it's coming from. So roll 1d6. Do you have close combat as
Yes, I
a
do.
skill? Okay. So roll 1d6 plus your agility.
All right. 6.
Is that your total?
Yes.
Oh, then you lose. Hang on, I gotta tell you how much. Damage. Consequences. Failure. That's not it. Where's like damage? Why do games have to be so complicated?
I don't know. Ask the guy who wrote them.
Assholes. All right. Oh, all right. So it would be 1 5, 6, 7, 8. You rolled a total of 6. I did not get 9, so you lose 1 health. Something. Well, you can pick. Pick a limb at random, and a chunk disappears from that limb.
Really?
Yes. You lose 1 health. Or 1 endurance. Sorry.
Like,
To come with
gory
us.
bloody mess kind of disappears, or
Just, it's gone. It's just like a hemispherical area of body mass vanishes, is what it looks like.
all right. Gonna use a sense aura. See if I can figure out what's happening here. What's causing this?
Roll some dice.
How many and what kind?
I hope
That's
you
an
can
excellent question.
regenerate.
Hang on. I actually had that written down somewhere. Where do I have that? Under gifts. Here we go. Sensora.
I can
DD6. You get a... We'll call it a reason perception roll. And
Okay.
I'll roll against you. And I'll tell you what you get. You need a 9.
That is exactly what I rolled. I rolled a 9.
All right. You actually are on the edges of what is going on, but you take a moment, focus yourself. It's kind of a Zen thing, and you flow into it voluntarily, and you see in the distance there is a huge temple, and in the sky above you there are globules. You're not sure how big they are because distance is uncertain. Could be the size of a cat, could be the size of a house, that are just moving in streams in the sky above you. And then around you and on either side and below you, somehow in the ground, because they are passing through solid objects in a way that solid objects don't, are kind of gelatinous flapping things that are moving around and just flapping and moving through
This is
things.
almost part of those bodies.
And there is one of those flapping things hovering above you, and it's large. It's probably from side to side, it's probably a good 3 meters wide. And there are like dots that you think are probably eyes around what appears to be like a mouth-like thing that has apparently just taken a chunk of you. You can still see the real world, but it doesn't seem quite as real as it was a minute ago. Oh, and you're naked now.
How inconvenient.
I think we may just lose Doc Celyddon. Oh, well,
That would be unfortunate for him.
I know.
Cast a spell on it.
What do you do?
It's like a concussive blast. I want to hit it, smack it as hard as I can, and get it as far away from me as I can.
Roll your thaumaturgy roll. It'd be your reason plus agility.
Okay. 18.
Zowie. You rolled 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, you cast your concussive blast spell, and it just goes, it like shreds into like tiny little pieces that like fall to the ground like little gelatinous ribbons.
Huh. Interesting.
You rolled well.
It's made of jello.
It rolled badly.
Yes. What happens next?
Meanwhile, we're going to hold right there. Across the street, Leslie and Carole and Johnny and Eve appear on the rooftop, surrounded by 7.62 millimeter casings, and everything seems cool.
Well, I want to see if we can look around and find the person with the device.
Oh,
because he's got to be pretty close to be operating it.
Carole rolled the great roll. Carole immediately knows you are no longer within whatever area was affected by whatever was going on. You are no longer in it.
That was the whole idea.
Right. but we
And
can
Leslie
look
wants
for
to look over the
someone
edge of the building to see if they can see somebody using the death ray, I guess.
Yeah.
For want of a better word. Um,
The widget, yes.
which is a good word.
Make a roll, Leslie.
was
Leslie
the
rushes to the edge of the building and looks. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Lloyd?
8 total.
The widget was the term that they used in the Manhattan Project for the atomic bomb.
That works.
I rolled a total of 8.
I rolled terrible. So you need to roll an 8 or more. So you got an 8. Awesome. That's fantastic. So, Leslie, you guys just appear on a rooftop, and I'm thinking you're going to spend at least a few seconds coming to grips with that? Does that seem realistic?
I'm used to it. Yeah, I'm probably used to it.
Well, you did it, so it's not like it was a surprise to you. So, Eve, at the very least, is like, oh, wait, what is happening? So, Leslie runs to the edge of the roof, looks over, sees a car, and right about that time, the car, the wheels kind of skid a little bit. It's an old
Catch a license plate if I
European
can.
card. Well, you don't see a license plate. Ooh. From this angle, the license plate's facing that way, and you're looking at the side. Okay. However, make a perception reason roll.
I can't do the reason because I don't have perception.
We'll roll 2d6. Tell me what you got.
Oh, that's
Jesus.
Well,
11. I rolled 6. What do you got?
I rolled 11.
Woo! You are rocking the rolls today.
Yep.
So even without perception as a skill, on the side you see Charles' butcher shop, and it drives away. On the rooftop, Eve is like, "What? What just happened?" And Carole and Johnny Diamond can react as they see fit.
This has happened to us before. She's done this before, so.
Yeah.
Yes, well, you're not as dead as your manservant. That's one thing that just happened.
What?
That
John?
device we've been looking for?
I'm afraid he got hit by the death ray.
And probably so did Dr. Celyddon, since he refused to come with us.
We should probably go back and check in on him now that the vehicle's go
It's safe now. The users have driven off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for your friend. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry for the person who attacked him.
Well, thank you.
I have a name. I have at least of the car they probably stole.
Unless they're stupid enough to use their own car.
Their own car. Charles' Butcher Shop?
It means nothing to me.
Doesn't mean anything to me either.
So how do we get down?
I'll have Johnny run through his mental Rolodex.
No, it doesn't ring a bell with anybody.
Okay.
Well, we'll just have to go look it up.
I assume that the people on the rooftop find a way down and go back across the street. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you could do it magically again, but that'd be showing off.
That'd also probably be a little tiring.
We'll just stroll on down.
Meanwhile, Doc Celyddon.
Yes.
Facing off against horrors from the beyond.
Exactly.
Well, one moment you're facing off against horrors from the beyond, you obliterate one magically, at which point like 36 more notice you and turn in your direction, and then you're standing in a kitchen, naked. Your clothes are like one step behind you on the floor in a pile.
Am I still missing my shoulder?
Yes, you are. You lost 1 endurance for that. It'll heal, theoretically. If you don't do anything magic, it'll leave a nasty, nasty scar. But if you do something magic, it'll be...
I'll start regenerating myself.
Okay. You make it all better.
All right, and start checking around to see if there's any, like, traces or residual energy or anything from this thing.
You did that earlier on that house in Lafayette, right? Mm-hmm. So you look around and you realize, yeah, this house has actually been subjected to this energy at least several times before. It's got like a very strong wah, 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 wah vibe of it.
Really?
Yes. This is not the first time this has happened here.
Interesting. And now that I know what it is and where it goes, can I get tune in onto that frequency to where the gelatinous horrors were?
Make a reason thaumaturgy roll, I guess, and we shall see what you see.
I would check for some bodies to see if there's
Is
left.
reason plus thaumaturgy?
Really, I rolled double sixes. You'd have to like nail this to peg it.
Reason plus my 3d6 roll is 20. It's 5s all the way across the board.
Wow.
Well,
Oh
you
my
asked. Well, you asked, man.
You needed to roll an 18. You got 20. All right. Yeah.
So-
You're thinking about it, and you're like, I mean, you haven't actually been there, right?
No, I haven't studied any kind of dimensional thaumaturgy all that much, other than in the course of my previous career.
Right. But you're going through like what you've read about this, this level versus that level, and you're like, yeah, you actually think you have a pretty good idea where the dimensional boundaries are being merged. Like you think you have like an abstract idea of like what it's actually doing.
Okay. Walk over to my clothes then, rummage around in my clothes until I find my notebook and my pen, and start making notes before I forget.
Sounds reasonable.
Essentially, when everybody else walks in, they're going to find me naked.
With a notepad.
Yeah, standing over my clothing, naked, making.
You guys come up the steps, look around. You find Jean's clothing on the ground. Poor Jean, he's gone forever. He's been consumed by creatures from the beyond. In the kitchen, you find.
Do we have any meldings going on, like a whole big blob of thing like what
No.
we found from,
No, not at this time. But you do find Doc Celyddon, who is furiously making notes, writing things down, flipping a paper, writing some more down, thinking, yes, writing some more down. Stark naked, standing above a pile of his clothes. Why he's taking off his clothes to take notes, you don't know.
You're nuts.
Visibly.
Could have gotten yourself killed.
Instead, he got himself naked.
Yes. Wait,
He was
sorry.
lucky.
At this point, I'll actually realize that I'm naked, consciously, and gather up my clothes and say, pardon me a moment, and step into the next room and get dressed.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
Briefly,
come out and say, I think I know where it goes.
Well, that's nice. You're lucky
Oh,
to be
and
alive.
The things that were actually causing Jean and my shoulder to disappear were actually consuming our flesh because of the dimensional interpenetration. And I'll describe them. I think they're the inhabitants of that particular realm.
Well, that's what the our mutual friend said was happening.
Indeed,
Yeah.
That's fascinating. The amount of power that's going to be involved has to be astronomical.
More the reason we have to find this thing. I have a car.
Actually, I couldn't locate where the point of origin was for the blasted thing.
I have a car.
I thought you
It's
didn't
just
drive.
outside. The car said Charles Butcher Shop.
Oh, the thing was in a car. Oh,
Yes.
how exceedingly inconvenient. Charles Butcher Shop. Does that mean anything to you, Johnny?
Not to me.
Not to me either.
No.
Well, we should probably pursue that then.
Yes.
And go back to the rooming house that we were at earlier today and kick down the door and ask them some very pointed questions. Oh, and it looks like this place has been hit by that device several times. The amount of residual energy involved is actually fairly high. I'll ask Eve at this point, have you noticed any odd occurrences, like being attacked by giant pink monsters?
okay, you guys are in the kitchen. You pass through the dining room to the study where Eve is. Eve is like sitting next to the pile of Jean's clothes, and he's not weeping. But he looks very, very sad. This is as close to sincere emotion as he gets. He looks
Doc,
very
I think
sad.
we need to wait for another time to ask that question.
No, wait, what? What are you? I'm sorry. What are you asking?
My apologies. Unfortunately, I fear your man there is deceased.
No, I gathered that. He stands up. He was a good man, not like me.
Have you noticed any peculiar occurrences earlier today or last night?
Oh, you mean like that?
Yes.
No, that is the third, maybe fourth time that has happened. I think I know what they want. One moment. He walks away. Do you follow him or you wait?
I'm going to follow him.
All right. He goes. You're on the second floor. He goes down the hall to his bedroom. He opens a drawer. He takes out a box about yay big. And he turns to bring it back to you, but you're all like fucking standing there in his bedroom. So he's like, oh, all right. He opens it up and brings out a glowing. No, sorry. A translucent pink gem about yay big. And he goes, I think they want this.
Where did you get that? And
from the device. I thought it was the device we were taking.
Oh, you were at the warehouse.
Yes, I was.
That might be why it's not working properly.
No, Ms. Blanchard and I, we agreed you did not need to know that I was there. But yes, I was there. I took this. She does not know. Okay? So, I will be in some trouble.
Do you mind if we take it from you?
It's just like a translucent pink.
If we have it, then she will never know that you took it.
No, I don't think so.
Well, may I study it for a moment, please? I'll give it back.
You'll give it back, yes?
You have my word.
Okay, he hands
Also,
it to
there
you.
is the problem that as long as you hold on to it, you remain a target.
I don't mind being a target. It's the job. But Jean, he should not have had to pay.
Anyway, I'll study the thing and see if the energy coming off of it's the same. And
oddly enough, it appears to be absorbing energy. Now, when you're looking at it, it's about yay big, and it's translucent and pink, but you don't get any like weird vibes off of it. However, when you're holding it, Yves says to you, he says, as you can see, it is glowing, and you can feel the energy radiating from it. Yes.
When you're holding it?
Yes, you can feel it, yes?
I don't know, can I?
No.
No. Not at all.
No? He holds out his hand.
Hand it back to him.
It's like, oh, yes. You feel it's like pulsing with the energy.
Can I hold it for a second?
Really?
Yeah.
You will give it back, yes?
Yes.
He hands it to you.
Mm-hmm. What do I feel?
It's cool to the touch. Mm-hmm. And it's pink.
But it's not. It's not giving me energy. It's not sucking energy.
No.
Okay. Nothing. I don't feel anything. It's cold. It's actually cold.
It is cold. Yes.
That's
it's
all
like,
I feel.
that is strange.
I hand it back to him.
I will continue studying it and take notes.
Make a thaumaturgy reason roll.
Right.
Either anybody who has it can make that roll, but it's a hard roll.
18.
Of course, the client is going to want that if that's part of what.
Okay.
You need to roll a 14 or more.
Right on the dot for me. 14.
Wow.
Wait, who else? What?
18.
Jesus.
18 for me, 14 for her.
Anybody else with thaumaturgy want to try?
10.
I don't have it.
No? Okay, you guys,
Only
it's
10.
you don't know. The people who rolled 14 or more. Two things are become apparent to you as you're studying it and looking at Yves. Okay, Yves has been exposed to the radiation of the death ray apparently numerous times at this point. he's become kind of like attuned to it. So what
Okay.
he sees is not what normal people see. What he sees is this is glowing and has power coming off of it. This thing is the power source of the death ray. You're pretty sure. So they're doing something to it to power it in the meantime,
That
but
doesn't-
whatever they're doing, they're wiping it out, and it only lasts like a couple of minutes. Which is why, when they were attacking with it,
We're not all dead.
yeah, which is why you're not all dead. When it died, when the battery died, in other words, the machine powered down and they drove away. What they want is this, which is the actual power source, which will keep it going, according to Monsieur Thomas, indefinitely.
Right. All right. Well, Eve, if you're going to continue to hang on to that, be very, very careful with it. I very strongly suspect it's the power source of the device that's causing the interdimensional interpenetration.
And I'd find a very good hiding place.
Well, obviously, I think that, unfortunately that if we get the device away from those people, it's going to have to go with it
Oh,
to
certainly.
the
Yeah.
client.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to turn it over to the client, but we can keep the two of them separate, and that way, once the device is drained of whatever battery they're currently using, it's inert. It's not dangerous at that point.
Yes, definitely.
So we're no longer handling live explosives at that point.
Which means all we have to do is wait for them to drain the device, and then we can go after the device.
Well, they
Right.
just drained it, so it seems it probably will take, unless they have a bunch of these batteries. We might have a bit of time before they can use it again.
Well, we've got
Which
Charles
well-
Butcher Shop.
will remind at least one person here that in the trunk of that car, there was something that looked like a homemade car battery.
Right.
Oh, by the way, it's getting a little late for me.
Like
Yeah,
that
we're
could be
wrapping
what
up.
They're using the power.
Okay.
We're wrapping up. So apparently they are making batteries to power the thing and then
Yes.
draining them, and then they got to make another one. So we'll hold off there and wait. One last thing. Anybody else? Anything to say before we wrap up?
Well, like I said, I'm going to
Yeah,
tell Eve
Andrew.
he needs to hide it a little better. Because if they
Like-
send somebody in to hide it someplace where if somebody came in and wrecked your entire house searching for it, they would never find it.
Or not in your house.
Not in your house anyway.
So I should keep it with me.
No, because they could attack you, and I
They've
would find someplace in your house that no one would think of looking. No one.
Oh, think about that. Anybody else?
No.
Nope. Okay, here we go. Oh, wrong one.
That sounds like the right one. Or we do a different one, huh?
Why are you not playing? Not responding.
Alright.
One moment, please. Technical difficulties. There we go. This has been Rough Magic with Donald Von Griffin, Karen Torres, Leslie Denneberger, Lloyd Montgomery, and me, the GM, Brandon Blackmore. Be very careful where you hide your energy crystal from another dimension, because something might come looking for it.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a good night, and I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yep. Good night, all.